Correct. Correct. What's up, everybody? You're going to hear me only talking in the interview for a podcast. I'm just going to stream it just because I do shit. Yeah. If you ever want to check it out, this episode, I don't know the number of the episode, but go ahead and check out hashtag Not About You Pod everywhere there's podcasts. It's the letter U, not the word you. Don't be dumb. I heard that. Actually, I think I can hook this up. Let me see. That's a... No, I can't. I probably could, but I haven't tried it. I have a two-way... Yeah, whatever. We're starting. I'm not going to start doing technical shit. Where you at? Oh, okay. Oh, I've been there. Yeah, I performed some comedy there. I don't remember where I performed in Renton. I just remember the city name. There's like... It might have been a bar. Is it like the oldest bar in the West in Renton? It definitely wasn't an open mic. I don't remember. Once I do the show, I don't remember it anymore. I have horrible memory. Unless I smoke weed, then I remember everything. It's weird like that. And who's the other host? Mary Ann Riley. Which I don't think I've met. And how long is the podcast normally? Oh, okay. So I should definitely go pee. Oh, no. I'm bringing you in the bathroom with me. I want everybody to know my stream is strong. That's good chemistry. And Todd, I promise you, those are just blankets and not a dead body. I promise. That's where my dog likes to hang out. That's my lady's office right there too. Yes. See. Oh yeah. Don't mind the legs kicking at all. Those are my sweet bongs too. In my pipe, my bongs. Yeah, and my bongs underneath the table too. And then I'll be smoking these 3 vaporizers. Oh yeah, yes. They're all different. But I'm about to put some flour in this one. I think I just finished this guy off. Since I have some time, since everybody's running late. I'll leave my headphones cupped so I can hear you. Oh, there's my comedy stool I'm knocking down. The people on my YouTube are like, what the fuck is really going on here?
least your room is clean.
Ish.
Yeah, it's cleaner than mine.
I try to keep it clean because I keep company here. You know, I keep people coming by doing comedy shows and shit. So I was supposed to have some company today. My comedian friend Eric Escobar was on his way out here. He's gonna crash over here, but he came out here with his girlfriend, and she woke up sick this morning. So they just ended up getting a hotel because he didn't want to bring her by and infect my entire home, which I appreciate.
I think we had him on the podcast.
Eric?
Yeah, I think so. Escobar sounds familiar.
Yeah, Eric Escobar, Filipino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had him a few months back.
good friends of mine.
Makes sense if you're as far as comedy. I think that's where he's from.
Eric? No, I met him in Los Angeles. Yeah, he's a LA comic. But he is one of those comics that's always on the road. So, you know, he's often mistaken for other comedy scenes because he's always out. He's always out. Oh, right, that's the thing. Yeah, that's also true. It looks like I got a couple viewers. Hey, guys. I'm doing an interview on the Not About You pod. If you want to check it out, you want to go on Spotify, hashtag Not About You pod with a U, not a Y-O-U, just the vowel letter. Don't be weird about it. Just go look it up. Let me see if I can try to get some low-level output here without getting feedback from you. Let's see here. Say something, Todd. All right. You don't hear any echo? Awesome. What about now?
Let's see. Yep.
Yeah? All right. I'll bring it back down. All right. That's cool. I got it. I'll do it this way. So now my people can hear you guys. Right. Let me check you out. Let me hear you one more time.
All right. How's this?
Oh, that sounds great. I just got you in the wrong speaker. I got you in the far distance speaker instead of the close-up speaker here. And this might change the echo quality. Let me see. How about that now? I hear you. You hear me? Awesome. I'm going to turn my headphones up and we're in the game. Check. I mean, now say something.
Something dark side.
Nice. I feel like it's still not coming out the right speaker, but that's fine. I'll live. Yeah. I was just trying to get some sound quality for my YouTubers, the people checking out this interview. So I'm about to do a podcast interview. We're doing all the technical stuff, waiting on some hosts. Jamal's in New York, right?
Yeah. New York and Marianne is about 30 minutes away from where I'm at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're all in Washington then.
Yeah.
How'd you meet Jamal?
Well, Marianne is a comedian, and they met through comedy, and he became a roommate of hers for a while. I'm hearing echo again.
Oh,
It's low, but it's there.
gotcha. All right. How about now?
Let's see. Oh, I'm hearing it now.
Yay! Yeah, just waiting on some hosts for the podcast. So you don't do comedy side?
I tried it a couple of times. The one clever
Well, I mean, you know, most nights were like that too. So. Yeah. This is true, especially in this day and age. Everybody feels comedy is such a funny art form because it's the only art form people feel obligated to want to join into. Not even respond. They think they're aiding it. Nobody's jumping on the stage at a play. It's like, let's do Macbeth now. You know, nobody's doing that. Nobody's like drawing on top of the fucking Mona Lisa like she needs a mustache. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's chiseling on David. He doesn't need this penis. Right. It's literally just comedy where people are like, I'm going to make the show funnier by interrupting it. They are. They are. Yeah. I mean, I there's a exactly. It's really dumb that people do that. I mean, Steve Hofstadter's making a whole career out of it.
Ripping apart, hecklers. He's
Well,
if he's not number one, he's quite possibly in the top 5.
Well, it's just it's not so much that he's getting heckled so much. He performs a lot and he records every single set. So it's not like he's getting heckled that much. It's just that he has so much footage of him being heckled. You know what I mean? Right. Which is like, I would say, for me personally, maybe 1 out of 15 to 20 shows, I'll get a heckler.
Yeah. He posts 100% of the shows that are heckled.
Right.
He probably doesn't post the ones that don't get heckled.
Exactly. Because the heckles are what gets the likes. The likes and the views and the clicks and it's clickbait. It's clickbait.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. 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 It's funny. You never see any hecklers at a roast battle. I wonder why.
Well, that's, I grew up in the 90s and the 80s and with comedy, so I watched Robin Harris. I don't know if you're familiar with Robin Harris. He was the dad on Kid and Play. I mean, not Kid and Play, but House Party. He was the dad in House Party.
I know what you're talking about. House Party. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Robin Harris. He was he had a cartoon called Bebe Kids. He wrote a whole act based on Bebe Kids. Actually, Faison Love was the actor in the cartoon movie, but because he had died. But Robin Harris was a sniper. You couldn't even get up and go pee. He would destroy you. He would destroy you.
Where are you going?
He would just kill you. He would roast you from head to toe. To this day, people still call other people's kids, other people test tube babies. He's the one who's like, test tube, baby. You damn test tube, baby. Like, I still call people.
I do remember this guy. I remember seeing him on early days of Comedy Central.
Oh, yeah. Early, he was on, was he on Def Jam? I think Def Jam and BT, Comic View.
Yeah. I mean, whatever the stand, I think it was just called Stand Up on Comedy Central back in the day.
Yeah. He was super young when he died.
And I saw a number of, now worldly famous comedians, on that show back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of my mentors are legends from like Shang is one of my mentors. I used to just watch him perform BT every time. He just destroys. I love his energy. He's one of those kind of guys who's just always kind of kicking game too. He's just like, hey, let me put you up on this, which is
right.
Invaluable in the entertainment industry. And not a lot of people like to hold their cards close to their vest.
Yeah. Let's see here.
You texting everybody?
I'm just checking to see if they've even seen my last 2 messages.
That's so funny. I got booked on the podcast and the hosts are late.
That's awesome. I really apologize about that.
Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, I just woke up from a nap.
It's usually me that's running late or something, but this time around
It is all good. I literally was laying in the bed. Like I have a damaged foot. You probably saw my foot.
Yeah. How'd you break that?
I got tendonitis in my ankle.
Oh, that sucks.
Doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. So I've been eating muscle relaxers, and pain pills. So I just woke up from a sweet muscle relaxer nap. Soaked my foot for like 2 hours.
I don't know where the hell everybody else is.
Looks like you're doing the interview today, Todd.
You know what? I don't have a problem with that. I do 2 other podcasts by myself, so it's part of a thing. I'm essentially just here to be the guy who records and then like edits if I need to edit. I don't usually edit because that takes time, and I don't really want to spend time listening to myself talk.
I've been there, done that. Yeah, my last podcast was like an editing podcast. I edited it down to like an hour. We would record for like 2 or 3, and I would edit down to an hour. So fucking tedious. But we did a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, the only time I edited things out is like, if I was trying to like cut out like all the ums and the uhs and the shits and the fucks, And it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna mark this podcast as explicit. So I don't worry about that fucking shit.
Please don't. So I might be a little coffee. I'm sorry. I just had like a severe asthma attack recently.
Oh shit, that sucks. I have asthma as well.
Yeah, I just discovered I have it. So.
Yeah.
Like literally this week.
Oh, you just found out you're asthmatic?
Yeah.
So you gonna try to cut back on vaping and stuff, or?
No, I'm gonna stick to vaping instead of burning cancerous shit into my chest. No, it wasn't the burning of things or inhaling of smoke that hurt my chest. I'm I'm like deathly allergic to dust.
Oh shit!
And so
I'm allergic to animal dander and dust as well.
Yeah, the dust mites get me, man. So I was working I work at a dispensary. They switched me to a new location, and it's just a super dusty place. And over 2 weeks, I started feeling sicker and sicker. My throat started getting scratchy. And then I was like, I can't come to work tomorrow. I'm feeling real sick. Took a COVID test. I'm clear, no fever. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the next day, I had to go to urgent care because I couldn't breathe. And they gave me an inhaler and put me on the nebulizer. That's my new favorite word, nebulizer. So now I'm like,
yeah, all the nebulizers, I've done that. That's fun. They strap that thing to your face.
Yeah.
And tell you to breathe into the thing and just breathe into this for a bit. We'll be back in a minute. And like 30 minutes later, they come back and you're still like sucking on this tube.
Yeah. It was magic. That's the best thing. I was like, oh my God, is this how I'm supposed to always feel when I breathe? I feel like I'm getting like 80% of my actual oxygen because my lung lining is inflamed or covered with tar or some shit.
Yeah.
Because I used to smoke cigarettes and cigars and all that. And then blunts. I was back in my rapping days, smoking like 16 blunts a day.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
Yeah, like anything other than air is not really supposed to go in your lungs.
Right. Let me write that down, Sal. Let me write that down. Nothing but air goes in the lungs. I grew up in the hood, man. You just smoke weed to fucking get by.
Yeah, I'm your typical white dude. I grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah, you just got like
3 black guys growing up, and that was about it.
You guys go on to the ice cream truck to get by. Oh, damn, he's Batman'd out.
Mr. Harrington?
Man, I had trouble getting into this shit, man. Oh, boy.
What's up, Jamal?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Coleman?
Thank you.
Man, I'm sorry, guys. Everything at my house had died as far as the internet goes. Looks like we didn't pay our bills at all. I'm up. I'm ready. All right. Gosh, man. All right. I apologize apologize for my absence. I'm usually not this bad. My lateness. But
You're all good.
It's usually me or Marianne that's running late. And I was like, where the fuck is everyone?
no, I spoke to Mary. Actually, I spoke to Marianne just now. I think she's probably either gonna chime in when she's when she's getting home, or what have you.
That works.
I ain't tripping. Like I said, Todd, I told Todd I'm not doing nothing. I was sitting here smoking weed, watching TV, trying not to fall asleep.
Yeah, we do one of those things on this pub. Try not to fall asleep.
Yeah.
In the house, but
Watch the videos from the last two. He falls asleep at least once.
yeah, I work like 2 jobs. Well, one now. Think about
Yeah. He's a hardworking dude. Yeah.
So you got to support that comedy life.
So one thing that I want to there's a correction that I need to make from last week's show that one of our listeners heard. So when I introduce you guys, I'm gonna make this quick correction. It was about the hockey. I said that the Carolina Hurricanes has never won a Stanley Cup. They actually have in 2005, and I knew this, and I didn't. And I slipped my fucking mind. My boss, who is actually an avid hockey fan, was like, "Oh, by the way, Carolina Hurricanes have won a Stanley Cup," and I was like, "What?" And so I gotta be that guy. I gotta be that guy that is like, you know what? Sometimes, you're not always right when it comes to doing a podcast.
Yeah, you have a very, a high responsibility for misinformation since you're passing on podcasts. Don't be a Joe Rogan.
Don't be a Joe Rogan. Yeah. That's the other thing is podcasts have gotten a bad light because of Joe Rogan, and there's so many fucking podcasters that like just spout misinformation.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up bullshit.
Every day.
It's like, hey,
For the sake of being right, but we're a better podcast than that. If we're wrong, damn it, we'll dive on our sword and be like, hey, I fucked up.
That's awesome. Some people like to die on that hill. You know what I mean? No, the sky is purple. The sky is purple.
all right, sir. How many blunts have you had today?
Purple haze, baby.
I was gonna say purple haze, man.
Purple haze.
Jimmy's just buried like not even a mile away from my house.
Oh, that's really cool. Which is like 200 miles from my house.
I literally live like maybe 3 minutes away from that cemetery.
Oh wow!
I could go right up. I have to go down my hill and then go down the street and then go up another hill, and it's right there, right next to the McChevron.
That's fresh. I'm gonna just plug this in real quick, like this. Boop. In the game. All right. Are you back, Jamal? You in New York?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be
He's over here tomorrow.
I'll be in Seattle tomorrow.
Damn.
Do you need me to pick you up tomorrow morning, sir, or do you have a ride?
No, I got a ride.
All right, cool.
Thank you, though.
I can sleep in then.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll play the intro music and then
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of It's Not About You with Jamal, Marianne, and Cousin Todd.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of It's Not About You. I am your host, Jamal Harrington. Welcome. My other host that is with us today, per usual, is our cousin Todd. Cousin Todd, welcome. say welcome as if this is your first time here. No. Welcome and thank you for your hard work.
I appreciate that, sir.
And our today's guest, we have a very, very special guest. Very funny, talented stand-up comedian who I've had the pleasure of meeting during the as he puts his shirt up. Was it the 6th annual Black Comedy Festival that is usually held in Portland in February by Dirty Angel Entertainment, by somebody we've had on the show a handful of times, Tyrone Collins. We have very, 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 very funny Jamal Coleman.
Hey, hey, everybody! Hey, it's me, the other Jamal.
So we're just gonna call this episode "Cousin Todd and Jamal Squared,"
or Mr. Harrington and Mr. Coleman.
We're gonna have to call him by Jamal's first name. He's like, "No, Mr. Harrington."
We're gonna make a rap group called C&H, and everything's gonna be sweet.
I've actually I saw you host a show at the Black Comedy Festival, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see somebody host a show, I always think to myself, I should get him to host my show. Especially somebody who's as good as you. And the thing is, it was just like because you went up, and I think I was going up right after you.
I think so.
Like I was like the first comic up after you, and I'm not gonna lie, it's very rare that I'm like, how the fuck do I follow this? And then like after a while, I'm like, oh, just be myself. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Classic.
Like, I thought you were very, very funny, and I thought you were. I saw a lot of the comics that was in the festival, and I think that you were definitely one of the standout. So when I heard through the Facebook world and you and Tyrone that you got an award, it was almost like,
what? Thank you. I got the award right here. I got it right here. This is for
wow, yes.
So we
as if he was gonna talk about this.
I keep it handy at all times. I just
Before we started recording.
I'm always bragging, Jamal. I'm always bragging. Yeah.
If I had that, I would be like, check this shit out. I didn't know what it says. That just looks cool.
It says Black Rose Market's Award for Best Showcase, 6th Annual Northwest Black Comedy Festival. So actually, you and I both won this award for the best showcase. I was just the host of the showcase, so I got the ball rolling. It was the first showcase of the entire festival, so we got the entire festival rolling as well.
Well, I mean, when they showed that up on Facebook, it was almost, I was like, well, of course, yes, I witnessed that. I thought it was very well deserved, and you have every right to brag about that. Hold on a second. Let me go get. Oh, I don't have
Yours is on the way. It's on the way.
I thought it was very well deserved, because it's very rare that I see hosts nowadays, especially. I mean, and I'm not to talk shit about the Pacific Northwest. There's very few hosts that had the energy that you had,
right.
Or have, I should say. You're still alive.
Making money.
It's very rare that you saw that. So it was funny because I was like, while you were on that stage, I kept my ear out the door and I was just listening, trying to like, someone's talking to me and I'm listening. They're just like, I'm like, oh, no, I gotta hear what he's saying because I'm going up after this guy. And they're like, yo, he's really killing it. I'm like, shh, I want to hear this.
I was going hard. I mean, I'm from Los Angeles. I started comedy in Southern California, and did all the tour in the clubs and all that cool stuff. And when I moved out here, I met Hijinks, and I did a bunch of shows with him. And I went to his festival last year, and I wasn't in the festival. I was just kind of hanging out. He let me do a couple sets or whatever. So then when he said, I would love you to host it, I created a showcase that I want you to be on. And then when they told me the name of it, Sophisticated Ignorance, I was like, well, I'm going to go tell all my groaner jokes. I'm going to go do, I wrote jokes specifically for that show just to make people feel awkward. Like I did a bit about, which is very hilarious now because it's a bit about me wanting to get a vasectomy. And the reason I want to get a vasectomy is because the world is changing and they're starting to outlaw women's bodies and abortions and whatnot. And I feel like it's easier to take the bullets out the gun than, so that was the whole premise of the joke, which always gets the ladies a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Take your balls off, please. Don't impregnate anybody. But I incorporated inside of this joke the metaphor of guys going around with loaded guns and busting in women to Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust. So then it turns into a gun control joke quickly, you know what I mean? And so that juxtaposition of very serious liberal thought to a very deliberate burn. That was Sophisticated Ignorance. That was I wrote that joke in my set based on that premise.
So that's a fairly new bit then.
Oh yeah, that was my first time doing it.
Yeah,
that was my first time doing it. Yeah, I was. Maybe I did an open mic a couple nights before, but I definitely didn't have it down yet. And it's even better now that since I've worked on it. Then that was February. So
that was your first, aside from the year. So this was basically like your second time doing the festival.
Correct. Like I would say 1.5. 1. Yes, which is so funny because I moved out here to the Pacific Northwest to do festivals, and the year I moved out here, I moved out in 2018, and Bridgetown stopped. It was just like the biggest festival in the nation, and they just stopped. And I was like, well, I guess I'll work at the weed shop. It's been a journey. It's been a journey.
How long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
This March that passed made it. I'm into my 13th year, I believe. I started in, I think 2011 or 10. I think 11. March of 2011.
Okay.
Am I doing math right?
13. I was gonna say because I started in 2011.
So 2010.
So I mean, but either way, I mean, you've been doing it. So about maybe 12 years.
Yeah.
I know, well past 12 years now. So you're entering your 13th.
Yeah, I'm in my 13th year of comedy.
And if my math is wrong, then that'll be something else. Hey, this is what I'm wrong about, ladies.
We'll put the number right here. The actual number will go right here.
We'll put Jamal's phone number up on the screen.
I just go look at my bio.
No, I'm talking about our Jamal.
Oh,
See, there it is. Mr. Coleman, Mr. Harrington. We got to go by middle names today. We're going by.
Jamal is his middle name.
or not.
Wow. What's your first name then?
My first name is Hayden.
Okay, that's so interesting because my middle name is Hassan, which is still an H. It's like we're just switching.
Well, that's brilliant.
It's just like, I could just imagine Googling him, just his middle name was Hassan. Of course, he blew that building up. But it's
this is really funny for me because personally, you're the second Jamal that I've met as a comedian. The first comedian I've met, his name is Jamal Coleman. Yeah, Doleman.
Huh.
He would get my bookings all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jamal Coleman. Now that seems like somebody. And okay.
You probably know him. He's pretty well known in Los Angeles. He's a great comic, great guy. We would just get people would book me and like, you're not like your picture.
Same here. You don't sound rugged,
Yeah, we don't look alike at all. He's like a much thicker, whiter-headed darker chocolate person. I'm like cookie colored. He's milk dud.
So you've been doing comedy for well, a little over 12 years.
Yeah.
Now, I assume that the majority of the time you've been doing it in LA. Have you noticed any kind of difference between the Pacific Northwest comedy versus West Coast comedy as far as like LA or parts of California that you've done comedy in?
Yeah, I mean, I started comedy in the Inland Empire at the Ontario Improv, so it was a little bit out of Los Angeles, like the suburbs of Los Angeles. It was a much more diverse rooms, more like 9 to 5 working kind of family, so it was way easier to get jokes off. Then you go to Los Angeles, you damn near got to talk about burning a homeless person and put them out with your own piss to get a laugh because people are so jaded because there's so much entertainment in Los Angeles. So it makes you more competitive. It makes you write a tighter jokes. It makes you more punchy. It makes you be more animated, to be more like, watch me, watch me. Right. I did comedy in Vegas. I've done comedy in Arizona, and there's a little bit more like the Ontario crowd, but more homogenized with white people. And then I started getting used to that kind of crowd. So then I went up to San Luis Obispo and did all those rooms for a while, which is majority white. And so I kind of learned how to do some of my more hood bits in a more general audience. I took that to like the Bay Area, did a improv in San Jose and stuff like that, and worked my way up to Portland, which is very unique because Portland is much different than all the places I've ever done comedy because people are offended here. Everybody else is like, this is comedy. I'm laughing. Portland is like, I can't believe he just did a joke about that. Like, it's like, babe, you can laugh. It's a fictitious baby that I burned. It's not even. I just said I want to, I might say something like, I want to attack a target like the Terminator. I want to kill that baby, that John Connor baby. And people like, I'm offended that he said he wanted to kill a John Connor baby. I was like, it's a movie reference. It's like, they're so sensitive up here. And I'm not like a walk on eggshell type of comedian. I'm a punch through the wall comedian. So one of us had to break in Portland, and I find my rhythm out here now. So I've been getting a lot more showcases and bookings because like I go hard on audiences. Like, we're all going to hell together. Fuck it. We're going to laugh together.
Yeah. No. So it's funny that you say that because I kind of always had that sense that, people are, and I'm not saying a lot of Pacific Northwest, but there's enough of it where people are just like, I can't believe you said something like this. I remember doing a joke. It wasn't even a joke. I was kind of like going off script, freestyling, and I was in North Carolina, and I just happened to, I guess, poke fun of Jesus Christ. And the audience was split right down the middle, half black, half white.
Right.
But everybody laughed. But then one of the comics came up to me and was just like, I don't know how you didn't. If you were anybody else, I think you could not get away with that Jesus Christ joke. And I was like, well, I was just freestyling. That's not even my joke.
Right.
And I wasn't being like,
right.
Like, yeah, I approved of what they did to him. It was just more kind of like, I did one of those things where where people compare Trump to Jesus Christ, and I'm like, that's kind of what you guys do down here, right?
That's so funny.
And it's just like when you're on stage, like they treat Jesus Christ like how most people treat Muhammad. You just don't dare say his name,
right?
So, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. When you can tell a joke and all of a sudden, like, the air gets sucked out of the room, and working in LA, like, what's wrong with you people? Why did you show up?
Well, yeah, it took me a couple of years out here. I've been out here since 2018, so it took me about 2 years to kind of realize it's not me, it's them. They're it's specifically Oregon. I don't know if you know the history of Oregon. It's like the cornerstone of white guilt. This is like where it started. Because Oregon was like a state that when the Civil War was going on, they were like, hey, we're not picking a side. We're not picking a side. But if any black people come in here, we'll just beat you every day until you leave. And that was their law. So like all the white people out here, and this is like the end of the Trail of Tears too. This is where all the Native Americans came. There's a lot of guilt, of cultural guilt in Oregon.
Not only that, but like I don't remember what years this happened, but the term Shanghai originated in Portland.
Yes. People got kidnapped, and there's a bunch of bars with tunnels underneath it. People got shanghaied here. They got kidnapped from this area.
You fall into a hole.
Yes.
You wake up on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
And you're a sailor now. You're on your way to China. So, and on top of that, there's this is like the capital of serial killers, like the Pacific Northwest. So people are very apprehensive about. They're very closed off in general for many years because of all the traditional, hundreds of years of mistrust and a lot of white guilt. Like the white is like a pancakes of mistrust with white guilt syrup and butter all over it.
Fuck, dude.
That is actually one way of looking at it. He's not wrong. Because it's just like me. I'm being from New York. I mean, I first got my start in Seattle, so I've always considered myself more of an East Coast. I'm an East Coast person, like regardless.
Right.
But it's just like I've hung out with so many comics in the East Coast that we are just unforgiving. We're just like, we're gonna tell you our views,
right?
Whether you like it or not. You don't have to agree with it, but again, it's it's comedy, like you said. This baby is fake. I don't really. People read into a little bit more than they should. But when I come out to Seattle and I see like all these comics doing their little cute bits, as long as I don't hurt people's feelings, it's gonna be funny. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And mind you, there's a lot of. I mean, and again, I'm not bashing the Pacific Northwest because there's a lot of funny people out there.
Fuck yeah, tons.
There's a lot, but then there's some that's just like, well, I'd rather do, I want to be this, and I'm like, no, don't be afraid to show your teeth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to. Be,
yes.
Well, and then
it's pandering. A lot of pandering out here. Yeah.
I find a lot of it.
Yes. I get it.
But it does make me. I'm just like, oh, this person is not getting laughs. He's trying to be cute. He's just teetering on, on I guess, trying not to be like this dark comic or this edgy comic. I'm like, no, just be yourself.
Have a perspective.
At least, do that. Don't try to be like, well, the audience like nice, because here's the thing. There's gonna be a comic that's behind it that's just gonna be like viciously funny.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, oh my god, like, they laughed at you, but I was like, no, but you didn't wake the audience up.
Exactly.
Got hired guns such as yourself.
A lot of comics out. What I've discovered in the Pacific Northwest is a lot of comics. It's kind of like local rappers. They just kind of rap about their hood, what's going on in their neighborhood. They don't have a larger scope. A lot of comedians just talking about what's happening specifically in Portland. It doesn't translate to any other place, or they're talking about a specific experience that doesn't connect. It might connect with 1 out of 10 people in the audience. So if I'm more like let's talk about everything that makes humans awkward, and that we can get all of us together and laugh at it, instead of I'm having this specific awkward moment with this one person at my job that nobody else works at, that you wouldn't really understand, and I'm trying to explain it and trying to get a laugh out of it, and no one's like laughing. I was like, you're just diary talking.
I mean, it's just like, oh God, if I hear well, this is why I can't get laid joke.
Right.
It's almost like, well, you just told us right there. You don't even need to get any further than that. Like,
the people that say stuff like that are usually like the basement trolls with a neck beard, right?
Most of the time. It's like, this is why I can't get laid. It's like, no, we see you. Like, you don't have to tell us.
It's so central.
Like I can't tell a group of people why I can't get laid, because they're just gonna be like, we don't fucking believe you. You're a handsome fucking young man. There's no way. like a guy like unless you have like a fucking like unless you have a personality problem, like that's one thing. But yeah, I hear a lot of those. Just like even when I go back to Seattle and like I go to like these open mics, there's always like a handful of comics. I was just like, so let me tell you why I can't get laid. I'm like, no, we don't have to tell us what we don't. Have to tell us what we already know. Continue your what you think you could legally call an act.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is I want to say the really good comics are doing their act, and a lot of people up there are just trying out bits, and they don't have an act. They're just eating minutes up, which is good, if you're beginning. But I'm like, there's like some 8, 7, 9-year comedians who like you don't have an act. That's like I'm gonna try this out. Try this every time I see you. You're just trying something out. I'm like, where's your act? Where's your set? Where's the bread and butter? Where's the where's the gold?
Where's the guaranteed laugh?
Yeah. Where's the one you like, this is a tough audience. I better tell this joke.
Exactly. Yeah. Where's that home run?
Yeah. Where's that, that 90 percentile 90% percentile joke, I didn't have those when I first started. When I started comedy, I never thought about being a comedian a day of my life. And then when I started doing comedy, it was a lot of trial and error. And I used to roll around with this guy named Gary O'Neill. And he was like, we watched 3, 4 comedians go, and he was like, nobody's laughing at anything. You better tell your best joke when you go up there. And I'd be like, my best joke? What's my best joke? And I'm like looking through my notes and then my phone. What's my best joke? No, there's no way you can say. I know the bread and butter now. I know what people love. I know what they like. It takes time, I guess, but it also takes. I can't remember. There's a guy who opened up for some guy. I want to say like D.L. Hughley or something like that. Some guy, one of his openers came to like a bar one time. He was like, and I was telling all random jokes every time, all the time. And he was like, hey, just do the same 15-minute set for like 1 month to see how that goes for you. And I was like, I don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up doing it. And it's like some of my strongest material. So now every time I work on material, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do this 15 minutes for this month. And then it gets strong. Because I take out all the ums, the uhs, I cut off the fat. I know where the rhythm is, the punchlines. When you're just trying shit out, you don't get to get the pacing down like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. I have that bad tendency when I'll listen to myself listen to like a set that I did, and I'm like, oh, this 15-minute set got broken down into like 12 because of the
Right.
And every time I hear myself doing it, I'm like, I just want to, and I'm driving most of the time. I'm just like, I just want to turn this vehicle.
Oh God. Yes, trust me, I get that. I hate watching my tapes. I mean, I listen to audio, but I only listen to like a bit at a time. I can't like listen to the entire thing because I'll start picking myself apart. I'm my worst critic, and it's the smallest things. You'll be watching the video and you're going, why do I keep doing that with my finger?
Yeah.
What the fuck is my problem? Do I have OCD? What is this thing with my hand? What?
Jamal, you're just skimming. It's all good.
I was like,
no, I do the same thing. It's like I'll fixate on something like off the stage, whether it's like a light that's
right.
like or somebody that's in the, like if somebody's wearing a hat, I'll fixate on the hat for some reason, but for some reason, like I don't, unless like somebody was telling me, like once you're telling a punchline of your joke, look at someone in the eye, it will make you give them that connection. There'll be a connection there.
Right.
And that was like one of the things that I had trouble with, was looking at people in the eye. Because when I look at the audience, I look at the audience.
Right.
But I don't like look at a specific person in the audience. But I was watching listening to like a comic on Spotify, and he would ask like people in between jokes, like, hey, what's your name? And then the person will tell him his name, and then he will tell a joke and then like throw the guy's name in there.
Right.
Like, oh, like, oh, what's your name, Jamal? Well, hey, Jamal, you ever? And then he'll just, do a joke and then maybe throw his name in it while he's telling his other joke.
Right.
Like he's connecting with the audience.
Right.
And I tried that. I'm like, that's a cool technique. Let me see how that works. And not for nothing, it's a pretty
dude. It's gold.
Helpful.
It's gold. I learned that technique from Jeff Garcia, one of the best comedians in the game. And he's like ridiculous off the cuff. And fortunately, when I started comedy, like I said, I never wanted to be a comedian or never thought about it. Somebody booked me for a show. It was like, just freestyle rap on it. And I was like, cool. And I ended up having to host the show, so I had to actually have jokes. So I was like, I need to write 5 minutes. I went to a bar, tried to do 5 minutes at their open mic, but it was all headliner night. So they let me go up at 2:00 in the morning and in front of all these headliners. And Jeff Garcia was there. And he was like, hey, funny stuff, just got to learn how to talk to people. It's not about your jokes. It's about talking to people. And you got to learn how to talk to people. And then you can talk to somebody and walk them into a joke. And that will make it punch that much more. And I was like, that was like the first lesson I learned in comedy. So, I watched him all the time. He'd be like, hey, what's your name? And it'd be like some dude in the audience who's like, oh, my name is Skip. And he was like, how come white guys always got adjective names? Skip, Russell. And he just, Chuck. He starts naming it. And I was like, oh, he's fucking brilliant. He's killing it. He's killing it. So now, I make it a point. I also had another comedian, Rob Stapleton. I used to be with a comedian that would have an index card with all my bits. He's fucking hilarious. He's one of my mentors. He used to have all my bits on an index card on top of a napkin under my drink. And I would put it on the stage, and I would go to drink and look at my jokes on the stage because I couldn't remember 5 minutes set. And Rob was like, don't do that shit.
Smart.
No, it's not. Because you stop giving eye contact to your audience. It doesn't even matter about the jokes. It matters about the connection. The moment that I take that break away from them, I lose them every single time.
And this is why I give comedians a lot of shit when they bring notes up on stage.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're doing it at an open mic,
right?
I'm like, okay, I give them grace. But I remember I had a comic come up on stage with a fucking with one of these. Like a composition note.
Oh no!
Can't see it with the.
Yeah,
I see it.
What's this right here? Came up with one of these, and I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, there you go. I'm like, what does this person think that he's doing? Because I did not even see. I know this person brought a backpack, but I'm thinking like, oh, this person's about to go and do something after this, like.
Unless it's a part of the act.
Like Skippy Sprinkles. He's got part of his bit is that he tells people he's got the traumatic brain injury.
No, I've seen brilliant people do it.
Yeah, Skippy, I give him grace. Like I don't count Skippy because sometimes he does have a memory problem.
Right.
When he writes new jokes.
Look,
but that I don't give Skippy.
Gerard Carmichael did it on his first HBO special. He had pulled his notebook out of his back pocket. Dion Cole did it on his most recent Netflix special that pulled jokes out of his back pocket. He was like, I wanted to try this one out. But if it's a part of the act, then that's what's funny. You know what I mean? These jokes are going to hit because you've created this situation for it to be that way. You're creating the disconnect for it. It's a part of the show. But if you're out there like willy-nilly, you don't know your act, and you have to refer. Then I'm from the Bill Hicks hereditary of comedy, if you would say genetics of comedy, where it's like materials for when I run out of shit to say. So I'm giving you my opinion, my thoughts, my feelings, and then I'll be some jokes in there as well. And I feel like that makes it a more textured, dynamic experience for an audience instead of just all comedy, which is more like the 80s to me. It's just like boom, bow, zip, hi, hey, boom, hey, how you doing? Hey, hi, oh, hey, zing. I think people want more connection and textures, like it still be funny.
Joke, punchline.
And I think that's why Dave Chappelle hits so well. He connects with so many people because he's brilliant at building you up. He's sometimes he does a little bit over of a build up for my personal taste, but he builds up so much with so much seriousness, and then he just sweeps you with a silly ass nothing.
Yeah.
And he just oh shit, I'm on my back. Dave, you're so funny.
Like, how did I get here?
Exactly. It was just this buildup of all this interesting information, and then he just sweet kicks you with something fucking dumb.
Oh, I finally saw the video of the guy tackling him on stage. Holy shit! Dude.
Oh, this is the,
Straight
you
up,
know,
like full on, like flying in the air tackle.
I'm not gonna front, man. When COVID started, and I was already a germaphobe before COVID, and then I was like, shit, man, people are just throwing their lung droplets at me every night. Like, I was like, I'm gonna have to reduce my schedule because I don't want to get sick. And then all the different protocols and masks and limited seats and 6 feet and all that shit happened. And then George Floyd, and then racism. I was like, I was sending a tweet out now, and I was on Twitter, and I was like, "You guys live in, Washington. There was the guys in Snohomish were doing with the guns. They're trying to protect their Walmart or whatever from rioters and such. There's no rioters in Snohomish, and they just was looking to try to kill some black people. And I was like, I guess I won't be doing shows out there on Twitter. And somebody's like, good, we don't want your black ass back. And I was like, shit, now I got to deal with COVID and racism. But now I got to deal with COVID, racism. Before it was hecklers. So it's hecklers, COVID, racism, and now random slappers and tacklers.
Well, well, like I've been saying, man, especially when it came to like all of like New York, we have a now a rising gun violence problem now.
Jeez.
So I always say, well, COVID can't have all the fun. So it's like we're like my people in my hood is trying to make up for lost time. They're like, we've been indoors for a year and a half, and I ain't killed nobody since.
Yeah, they're doing it on the West Coast too, man. They had there was a recent comedy show on the rooftop where Mike Tyson was there, and some guy was all hyped up about meeting Mike Tyson, and everybody's like, "All right, calm down, we trying to do a show or whatever." And he pulled out a gun. It was like, "Oh no!" And Mike Tyson just was chilling because he's still Iron Mike. Everybody else is scattering. It's like, we good, man. Just fucking leave, man. We good. It's like, we got a problem. Okay. People always drunk with guns and shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. It's getting crazy. Now I'm like, I only want to perform at high-end comedy clubs with dorm people.
Well, I guess that's the only way you don't get punched in the head from Mike Tyson's if you're carrying a gun.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It does kind of remind me of a joke that Daniel Tosh has. And I'm paraphrasing. He was like, based on these ticket prices, I cannot afford to risk my security for doing $10 a ticket shows.
Right.
I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm on your side on this.
Big facts.
This was like a special that he did, I think, like a long time ago. But I'm like, you know what? That joke still holds up for today.
Yeah, big facts.
Because it's just like, he's right. I'm like, man, maybe I should jack up my ticket price for the sake of hoping that somebody doesn't spend like $50 to rush the stage and try to attack a. But let me ask you this: do you ever feel unsafe when you're on stage? Do you ever feel that you ever feel scared when you're going up?
Of people?
Yes, like audience members coming up to you, running up the stage and being like, I heard you on that podcast.
Not really, because I'm not. I mean, I do go hard on my material. I don't pull punches, but I'm not like an extremely political or religious or edgy type of comedian that's in an offensive way. Most of my stories are personal. I don't really have anything that I think anybody would be super offended by. Most of the time when I get heckled, it's just drunk people trying to I always get heckled by drunk people who think that I'm the only person talking to them. They're like, that's right. Woo, my mom too. Right. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's right. My favorite. Like, what the fuck, lady? I'm not talking to you.
Oh my god.
I think I just had a couple of flashbacks myself.
Yes, but I didn't have the fear, but it's definitely something that's more in my mind now, because before all this, I did a show, and I want to say it was Renton, because you mentioned Renton. There's like the oldest bar in the West, so somewhere in Washington, and I did a show out there. It's off some old highway somewhere, and after the show, some guy came up to me, and he was like, "You're beautiful, man. I just want to let you know I'm a skinhead. Me and my brothers don't typically like black people, but you're fucking hilarious, bro. And I would love for you to come to our compound and tell some jokes, And I was like, how much y'all paying? But I was like he snuck on my RV. They gave us an RV to like sleep in, and he like snuck in with my feature, was drinking and shit. And I was like, dude, this guy got to go because I got to go to sleep and shit. And I was like, that was the only time I was like, it's the middle of nowhere. It's a bar. He could have had any kind of weapon on him, you know. And then but I didn't, after 2020 and all the racism and shit, I was like, that was dangerous.
It is threatening. Oh boy, it's either like Ray is super ghetto or super. I mean, I've never seen it racist before, but I ran into a couple of situations where it was like, all right, well, I know where I'm not wanted.
It's so surprising there's so many Confederate flags in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, why? It's like, I don't understand. I did a show in Oregon, and there was a very beautiful woman who was wearing like this tank top, and it was you could tell it was like part of the Confederate flag, and she was sitting by herself, and I was just like, well, this gives me an opportunity to see how Confederate she really is. And then what ended up happening while I was talking to her boyfriend sat right next to her with a Confederate polo.
Oh shit!
And I was like,
damn.
Oh shit! I didn't even know.
Damn.
Like, what brand is that? Like,
Ralph Lauren.
By Carlton Tommy Hilfiger. But then like he sat down, and I was like, oh shit! And I was like, the two puzzle pieces finally connect. Okay. And he was not happy that I was talking to her. He was like, just tell your jokes, boy.
Wow.
Okay. And then like at the end of the show, he came up to me in the parking lot. Luckily, I was around a bunch of people because I thought he was going to start some static. But he was like, I just wanted to say I thought you were really funny. And he was like, for a black comedian, I'm surprised you didn't use the N-word. And he actually said the N-word.
Right.
And while shaking my hand, and I'm just like, can I get my hand back so I can get as far away from you as possible?
Dude, there's people always trying to slide it on you, man. It's so funny to me. I used to tell this joke on stage, but I stopped telling it on stage because it would happen more often. But I was like, hey, I tell stories about being a comedian. It was like, it's fun being a comedian, except for after the show when people want to tell you their jokes. And there's always a guy who wants to come up to you and be like, can I tell you a joke? You never want to hear this joke because it's always going to be the most racist joke of all time. It always starts off with, so 13 niggers burned each other, right? And it's like, oh, shit. Every time. I stopped telling a joke because people would come up after the show and go, all right, you want to hear a joke? And they would do it.
Here's a joke. You can use this in your act. I'm like, okay, first of all, you're white, I'm black. That joke is not tailor-made. Unless I somehow get white all of a sudden,
right.
I could probably tell that joke. But even if I did, I'm still black inside, and I'm not going to tell that because it sounds fucking horrible.
Right. It happens, man. It happens. I laugh it off. It's funny.
Here's that whenever I'm in my living room, me and my family like to kick around,
Right.
Station identification. It is not about you podcast with myself and cousin Todd. Our guest today or tonight, depending on when you're listening, is a comedian who will be performing at the Comedy at Craft, which is the Craft Kitchen and Brewery on 62988 Layton Avenue, Suite 103 in Bend, Oregon. We have the very funny Jamal Coleman.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like this is like the first commercial I've ever read. The show. We got commercials now? I think I got a free ticket if I mention this place. The show will be Saturday, June 11th at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale right now for $15 online or $20 at the door. Please don't be that person that goes to this show at the door and be like, well, it's $15. Because I just told you, I read the entire fucking flyer. It's $20 at the door, $15 you can get these tickets online. I have to say that because I'm doing my Jamco comedy series this weekend. And I've had people come up to me, well, it's $15, right? I'm like, no, according to the flyer, it's 15 online, 20 at the. But no, ma'am, like it's written right there. I'm the one who designed the flyer, so yeah. So, but anyway, it's not about me. Definitely go check out this show with featuring Jamal Coleman at the Craft Kitchen and Brewery in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
And give them a good Yelp review.
Yeah. Come on down. They're gonna have me do a good hour or so up there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna tape it, so I'd love to hear your laughs on my taping. Also, if you want to check out all my shows, just go to jokeoclock.com. That's my website. I have a Shopify on there. You can buy yourself some biker shorts too.
That's your merch, like for real?
I got a bunch of like gag stuff that you can buy off of Shopify.
Oh god! Now you said like shorts. I'm like, does it have like Coleman and like a smiley face?
They're padded biker shorts. They're hilarious.
Oh my god!
Hey, definitely go check out the shop on my jokeoclock.com page. You got rainbow candles on there. You can send your friends. There's some really good. I mean, you can get like phone chargers and shit on there too. Some real practical stuff. But there's a lot of gag gifts.
I can't expect anything less of a comedian to have gag things in their store, right?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I did merch for a long time, and I did T-shirts, and when you're traveling around from fucking. It's hard schlepping around a bunch of luggage, heavy ass luggage with T-shirts. Mugs break. I got all the way down to like rubber wristbands, and that was doing really good for me for a long time. There's a great profit on the wristbands. You can sell them for $5 or $10, and you can probably pay $1.75 for them, depending on the style. There's a lot of profit in them, but eventually I was just like, I don't want to carry merch anymore.
No, it's funny because like I ran out of. Actually, I have one shirt left, and I ran out of all my merch. I have no merch. Even when I go to Seattle, I have no merch. I have my clothes that I'm about to wear sitting right here, and it's not much. It's like this much clothes.
Right.
It's not much. It's like I got 2 pairs of jeans, 2 pairs of shirts, 2 pairs of socks. I'm about to throw in my laptop. I have to study when I get there, and because it's finals week for college.
Eesh.
And it's just like I used to just fill the rest of it with like all kinds of T-shirts. I'm like, okay, there's gonna be a lot of big people at my show, so I gotta throw the extra larges, the largest. And
yeah,
it got too tedious. So now I'm just like, oh, thank God I ran out of it.
Yeah.
But now what I'm thinking about, I want to do shot classes, but like you say, mugs break. Sometimes they crack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta treat this like drugs. Like I'm on an episode of Snowfall or something. Be like, yo, what you got in there? It's just a bunch of shot glasses, but don't break it. You know what I'm saying? That shit costs money.
Right. Well, I did look up merch, and so the number one merch is still T-shirts. People love T-shirts, but the number 2, can you guess? Guess the number 2 merch, Cousin Todd.
Stickers or buttons?
No. Stickers is 3rd. Buttons would be 4th. Number 2, tote bags.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have.
You guys are frozen, and I lost you. It's just me on the podcast, guys. I don't know what happened to those guys.
Okay.
Oh, there they go. There they go. They're coming back. I hear a voice. There you go.
So you mean like those like the tote bags?
Like a canvas, like a canvas tote bag.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
Because people use them for everything. The grocery shopping, you take them to Trader Joe's, put all your crap in it. Especially when they start in states where they don't use plastic bags anymore, they work very well.
Yeah. Oh, they work very well here.
Yeah. And so I had an idea. My concept was, I was like, all right, I'm going to get tote bags. They're not too expensive. You're still good overhead on them. You can still make a good profit on them. You can roll them up really tight. They're not too heavy. You can put, you can get 4 of tote bags and fill them up full of tote bags and have enough merch for, you don't have to worry about sizes and smalls and all that shit. I was gonna have like, you know,
The design doesn't wear off.
exactly. The design doesn't wear off. You can have them stitched.
Sides fit all.
You can have them embroidered if you wanted to. I was gonna have just like my bits on both sides, or maybe like a catchphrase on one side and like bits on the other, and then have different bags with different bits, so they can kind of like have a collection. Like, oh, I got that one. I got these bits. I haven't heard that one yet. I gotta go research his material. Oh, I got it. Like a
Start making tote bags, Jamal, so we can have Marianne's catchphrase from the podcast on there.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, yeah, right.
I would love it. Look at a tote that says "Not about you" on it. Period.
Or could you imagine like Jamal, that's just Jamal,
Yeah.
having like his face on a tote bag, like while somebody's shopping. Like Jamal's just like,
It's like you put stuff in the bag.
Shopify.com on, Shopify. It's such a great store. Who are your stand-up comedian influences?
Man, this is such a funny question because, like I said, I never wanted to be a comedian. I never looked up to comedians like that. I went back and did the history of comedy once I started doing comedy. So I went back and looked up Buster Keaton, like the first guy who was funny on film, and Charlie Chaplin and W.C. Fields, and I worked my way all the way through to Kevin Hart. I'm a big Bill Hicks, Richard Pryor, and obviously George Carlin. Those are the guys. But I'm also a really big fan of Brian Regan, Steve Martin, Billy Crystal. I grew up on Comic Relief, Def Jam. Martin Lawrence was the funniest person on earth to me for like 15 years. His sitcom is my favorite to this today. I loved all his specials and movies. I was a big fan for him. I had his posters on my walls when I was younger. So I guess Martin Lawrence, and he was a balls to the wall kind of comedian. He didn't give a fuck what he was talking about. He would be talking about fucking your mom on stage and make it hilarious. He very versatile as well. So I guess those will be my biggest influences. All the Wayans brothers. Grew up on In Living Color and sketch comedy and stuff like that too. But when I started actually being a comedian, the people who are immediately around me, Jeff Garcia, Rob Stapleton, Jeff Keith, DJ Cooch, Chad and Corey, the dirty Chad and Corey, they do the Dirty Show at the Improv, the Smash Brothers, Ralphie May. I was a sound guy at a comedy club for 3 years and didn't think about writing a joke. So I just got to meet all these people and get information from them. And then before I became a comedian, I just like, hey, Steve Trevino, I'm thinking about being a comedian. You have any advice for me? And I got great advice from everybody. Fluffy, I got amazing advice.
Great company right there. Very good company.
Yeah.
Because before I did stand-up comedy, I was producing or co-producing and helping other shows for 6 years.
Right.
In New York. So, got to meet a lot of like the late Mike DeStefano. Right. Ted Alexandros, just tons of great like New York comics. Right. And and just to kind of and then the cool thing about it is when I moved to Seattle and I started doing stand-up comedy, I was able to get a lot of the New York guys to come out. Right. And like I had Mike Vecchione come out. God, it was so good. Just having them come out and kind of reminding myself what New York comedy was like, but have them come out here, So, it was just a lot of fun, and I miss those guys, and they're still like around, doing their stuff around here at a much bigger level. You used to have Eric Andre come in. He would like, let me do your check spot. Yeah. And you guys don't have a check spot out there, but let me do the check spot, man. And he crushes the check spot to a point where nobody would pay their checks because they're so focused on Eric going files. But yeah, man, like he having Kurt Metzger do my very first show in Seattle.
Right.
It's just a lot of fun. But at the same time I did what you did, I asked for advice because I never thought about wanting to be a comedian, only because like I've seen a lot of comics come through shows, bomb, and have to take that long trade ride home. And I'm a sensitive person. I don't think I can handle all that pressure. So
That's so funny.
I'm probably good just not being a comedian. Fast forward 6 years, I'm at a comedy underground in Seattle doing open mics and realizing, oh, there's more to it than having 3 minutes of jokes.
Right.
You got to build on top of that. So it's a great journey.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. It's changed my entire life and perspective on everything. It helps me remember my life and document my memories. All these little moments in time that used to, I used to be the kind of guy who get a flat tire and get out the car and you'll see that guy on the side of the street throwing rocks and cussing and shit and mad. And now I'm the guy who something happens and I'm like, this is going to be funny in a minute. Let me figure out how to make this funny. This has happened to somebody else and this is going to be hilarious later. And so like I've been through some traumatic shit. Like my digestive system shut down in 2016 and I had to reprogram my entire diet and eating and everything, which now is fucking hilarious. It's something I can go talk. Now I can be like, I tried veganism and I because I was a vegan for 11 days. It made me feel like a pompous asshole. Like, how dare you eat Doritos in front of me? It's the mindset. It's the mindset that I got from being a vegan for 11 days. So that material, everything is material. This whole world is full of premises, man. It's just springboard after springboard and stepping stone after stepping stone and opportunity after opportunity. You just got to take advantage.
I'll be at the break room at my job, kind of like staring off into space, and someone will come in and just be like, "Oh, you're writing jokes in your head, are you?" Something like that. How can I help you? I'll just be staring off. Like I'll just be like, having my breakfast, and I'll just kind of be humming to myself. But I'm really thinking about, oh, how can I make this situation funny?
Right.
The situation that I have rolling around my head. How do I make this funny? And that's kind of what I do most of the time. And then I keep a pen and pad on me, and I'll just write down like premises. But I will say there's nothing. It's like, I guess I'm not a father, I'm not a parent. So I think the next best thing to probably being a parent is when you have a joke that is new.
Right.
And you can foster it and bring that joke to one room and it's like, oh, here's this, in your mind you're like, this is a new joke. But I tell it like I told it 1,000 times.
Right.
When it works, it's like, yeah. We're gonna go to this other room and see how you work out.
Yes.
We're gonna go to this other room.
Well,
where the joke grows and it's like, it's alive.
It's Frankenstein. Literally. I tried to compare it to basketball recently. I was like writing a new joke because I was talking to I don't know if you remember Imani Dene, I think is her last name. She's a comedian out here in Portland, young black lady. She's like trying to stretch her time. I think she has like 17 minutes. She wants to get to 20. And I was like, do this bits. She wants to always try new jokes. So that's great. Do all the new material now, because when you start getting the bread and butter, that's all you're going to want to do. It's the bravest time you're a comedian is in the first year or two when you're like, all right, all these new jokes to try. So now I'm like trying to, and 13 years later, me writing a new joke and trying it in the set as an opener or a closer is like shooting a half-court shot and making it. If somebody laughs at that joke, that's a half-court shot. Like I was a haymaker. I was throwing up a lob, but I put a lot of pressure on myself to make it funny. Because then I'm like, oh shit, nobody's laughing in my first 3 minutes of this set because I tried this opening. You're supposed to put a new joke in the middle, but if whoever's listening, you're supposed to sandwich it in. So if it doesn't work, it falls flat, you can pick it back up. I'm doing it in the first minute of my joke, and if it doesn't crack in the first, if I don't get anything in the first 45 seconds or something like that, if I chuckle or any kind of reaction, I'm gonna not tell the joke anymore.
Oh.
It's like, oh no, it's going in the needs to work folder.
I was gonna say, like, have a baby.
Oh man, I have so many jokes I've like are ambiguously funny. I'm like, they need work. I'm just gonna keep doing the act. I just keep adding to the act. Does it go to the act? Okay, this is a new joke. Let's try it out. Okay, it worked. Okay, I can put it in the act. Okay, this is a new joke. Didn't work out. I'll work on a new act someday. That one will be in there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that. Sometimes if I do a joke that falls flat, it's like, okay. But I'm very stubborn. I'm like, this has to work.
I am not. I am not.
So I will hang on to a joke, and I probably have like a lot of jokes that I probably should have just thrown away. But there'll be some jokes that I'm just like, nope, this is gonna work. Is it the right audience? Am I not wearing the right T-shirt? What's the
I never blame the audience, man. I always. Who was that? I think Guy Tori told me that. He was like, never blame the audience. It's always you, man. If they're not laughing, switch your subject. Switch your subject matter. And I was like, okay, I didn't. It was, and then later on in life, going, oh yeah, like it didn't click until much later in life that what he was saying. But like, and I try not to blame the audience. Now, some people are overly stimulated. Some people are distracted. Some people are overly drunk. I've done a lot of shows, like weed shows, where the audience is taking dabs while you're trying to perform.
Yeah.
That's a tough audience. You know what I mean? And then you have people who genuinely just don't like you before you even get up on the stage.
There's that, but at the same time, you could combat that.
Yeah.
Funny and
yes.
Around.
Yes.
I do agree with Guy Tori. I do believe that whenever a comic comes off stage, it's like, man, that audience. Now, I think there is a time where you can blame the audience, but that's like a very small margin.
Right.
But for the most part, if people came out, paid money, brought a date or whatever, they want to be entertained. That's your job.
Yep. That's it.
That is the beginning and end of the job description. Be funny.
Yeah. And being from Los Angeles too, with the capital of live entertainment, you'll be surprised how many people don't not even the audience members, but the actual artists don't respect the live part of the entertainment. They're doing it very rehearsed and not engaging into the actual moment of the present moment that is going on. It's like, yeah, I get it. You really want to tell that joke the way you wrote it, but it's not working. You got a 10-minute bit about your tooth being loose, and they weren't on board by minute 3. You might as well bail, bro. You got the longest bomb in history.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's but yeah, no, and I think you're absolutely right about that. You have to learn how to adjust, and that's what I try to tell. And that's what I tell young comedians. The best advice that I usually give them, other than keep writing, be yourself. But if a joke is not working, it's okay for you to fail.
Pull that.
Not have to like die on that hill.
Pull the zip cord and get out the plane, man. Float on down to safety.
Have respect for a comic that is like midway into a joke and he looks at the audience. He's like, you know what? You're right. This isn't working. Let's go talk about something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've heard comedians even say that on stage, like, yeah, that joke didn't work. Next.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's breaking the fourth wall.
Exactly. And I think the audience respects the artist for actually being able to, he sees that we're bored. Oh, he's going to do what he can
to
switch it up.
Right.
And then, nine times out of 10, it gets better, but then, of course, you have to learn how to, comics like you and I, who've been doing this for almost a decade, we know how to adjust.
Right.
We know the traps. But a comic who's been doing it for like a couple of years, 3 years or so, it's like, okay, I don't know where to go from here now. Go in my back pocket and pull out my notes.
Right.
or look at my phone, and so it's just like, okay, this is the part where this is the growing pains. This is how we learn. I don't even like comics like when I'm like, no, we're gonna give him all the time that we allotted him, and when he comes off stage, we'll just be like, okay, you weren't terrible. This is a learning experience. this is what you have to do next time. You know?
Right. I used to give a lot of advice, but now I don't care anymore. I'll write a book or something, an ebook.
To the comic that asked me at the Helium, question. Here's the answer.
I mean,
Find my book, first of all.
the people that I gave advice to don't like me anymore and are way more successful than I am now. So,
Wow.
so I'm like,
They owe you a lot of credit.
or none of them are.
There's a joke that I came up on my own that Jamal Coleman did.
But I watched. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've bombed and how many people have seen me bomb, because I'm very, very particular about my material and how I'm represented on stage. And so I just don't do anything unless I'm riffing. And even when I'm riffing, I have to be very particular about how I'm doing it. When I see people come to approaching jokes a certain way, and I never tell people that, your approach is wrong. You could make a layup from the right, the left, or the center. I don't care how you make the layup, but if you keep missing the layup, there's something wrong with your technique. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're jumping off the wrong foot or something. I do remember telling this one comedian that will remain nameless. There was a condiment. It was a condiment joke, and it was about how somebody, I want to say it was like Mayo or Ranch, and they were just going in about how ranch people and ranch. And I was like, why don't you make fun of everybody, all the condiment people? What about barbecue people? What about mustard people? What about, because then all you're doing is alienating all the people that are sitting in the comedy club, eating their chicken wings, dipping it in ranch, not wanting to laugh at your joke.
All right.
Talk about the hot sauce people, man. Talk about everybody. So everybody gets it, and then, everybody gets shot, then everybody can laugh at everybody.
Ranch should only go on.
I don't think anybody should eat ranch. What the fuck is ranch, man? What is it?
Gross.
What is it?
Isn't it just mayonnaise and ketchup mixed together?
Fuck no. That's Thousand Island dressing. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't
It's like buttermilk
I
and
don't
chives.
use it
It's like buttermilk and chives and sour cream or something.
At Wingstop, they're just like, would you like ranch? I'm like,
Ugh.
where's the God? No, I don't want ranch.
On meat? Ugh.
Barbecue sauce is the only dipping sauce that I use for anything.
See, but I'm like a weirdo, man. I don't even like sauce. I was a kid. I would like eat my French fries and mustard, and that was it.
Yeah, I see people doing that.
But like A1 sauce, when I discovered A1 sauce, I was like, that's it. There's no other sauce in the world.
Yeah. Oh, see, that means you got money. 'Cause I can't afford it.
A1 sauce is only good on meat, though.
Oh, it's good on fries, eggs, potatoes.
Scrambled eggs?
Okay.
I'll be at an IHOP and I'll pour some A1 on my scrambled eggs.
Look, if you don't like vegetables, A1 sauce.
I'm trying to take the bottle home with me because it's like, it's too expensive on this. They're like, where's that bottle of A1 sauce? I'm like, thank you.
She's like, what A1 sauce?
It's like feeling.
Should have did the Copperfield. There was no.
Yeah, I never got A1 sauce. Can you bring me some A1? Oh, I thought I just brought you the. Yeah, we don't have it. I don't know where it went.
Must have been another black table. We all look alike. Just bring me my A1 sauce.
Like, bitch, where's my A1 sauce?
You see, and then she comes back. You ask for another one, and she's like, "Nope, you gave me 2 Cholula bottles. We have 2 Cholulas."
Did you guys ever see that interview with Samuel L. Jackson when the guy asked him about doing those credit card commercials? He goes,
Oh yes,
no, dude, that's Lawrence Fishburne.
yes.
Oh, yes.
It was Lawrence Fishburne. They was mistaken for Samuel Jackson. Because Samuel Jackson did do the Capital One commercials.
Yeah.
All right, no, there was some other thing that was Lawrence Fishburne that was in the commercial. They were talking to Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh.
And he was like, "Do you really think I look like Lawrence Fishburne? Have you seen him?"
I do remember that though. Yeah, it happens. You know what's so funny? is humans are so we believe we're so individualized that we all look different, but there's like 8 or 10 face types. Like there's so many people look like other people on this planet. And when you're not around a specific ethnicity of people, it's kind of hard to determine the specific characteristics of look, I saw an article about the most handsome Chinese person today, and I was like, he looks like everybody I've ever seen from China. What makes him more handsome than the other guy? I don't know, because I'm not in China looking at faces all day. I'm not doing facial recognition software development work in China on TikTok. Or I'm not Russian, making you get your profile picture in the artistry form so they can officially steal your identity. We're just feeding the AI, guys. You're just feeding the AI.
Back in the '90s, when I was much younger, I was probably about as thin as you guys, and I had long black hair and a goatee. I looked like every guy who was ever in a metal band ever.
Right.
So I was like, I used to get this all the time. Like, you know who you look like? I was like, guy in a metal band. I was like, how'd you know? I hear it all the time.
Dude, I am skinny and black. I got a list. I just saw my Facebook. I have like one of them time hop Facebook posts, and like these are the people that I look like. I have to memorize it so I can do it in a bit because it's I get Anderson Silva, Randy Moss, Dave Chappelle. I got Will Smith. Bones Jones was another fighter. Bones Jones. Rajon Rondo.
Now that I can see.
That dude from
I kind of feel like I just insulted you a little bit.
I mean, Samuel Jackson. I guess Samuel Jackson.
What a
Yeah,
younger
I can
Samuel
see. I can
Jackson.
see. Yeah, you Samuel Jackson from Coming to America.
I gotta get a green beanie.
That but Samuel Jackson from Jungle Fever.
Okay. We did smoke the TV, mama. I smoked the TV, mama.
Yeah, that you got the reference.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he also kind of looked.
At least you don't get Tracy Chapman.
Yeah.
I've had somebody call me that, and I was like, wait, you're not even being genuine. You are being a dick.
That's funny.
Oh, okay, here it is. Donald Faison is the person I was trying to record.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Or Clueless, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's more popular. Yeah.
Most recently, he was on one of the CW superhero shows as
Really?
Mr. Gold.
He was on the secret. I haven't watched the CWB. Is this WC? It's just C. I'm like, I'm adding letters, right?
It used to be the WB, now it's called the CW.
Okay, yeah, I'm fucking it up.
That's awesome, though. I love the CWB. That's great.
That's how long it's been since I watched it. I've been watching it since they had the Animaniacs on there.
The Animaniacs are now on Hulu.
What?
Brand new episodes and everything.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta go check that out. See, man, I'm like, I don't fuck with media like that. Like, I find a show and I watch it till I can't watch it no more. Then I like stop watching, then I go watch it again because I liked it.
I follow a number of voice actors, and then about 2 years ago they started talking about they're working on a new Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. I'm like, oh.
Wow, Pinky and the Brain was fire.
Yeah, it was.
So you know what's funny is in the song, right? In the intro of the song, peek this out. Pinky and the Brain, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane, right? But you don't know who the genius is and who the insane one is.
Pinky's the genius.
Exactly. Yeah. He's always saving them on some shit. He's always doing some brilliant shit.
He was an savant, but he was a genius.
Yes, and then Brain was obviously an insane mouse.
Oh, yeah.
But the punchline is forever fire. What are we doing tonight? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Trying to take over the world. Fire punchline.
I think so, Brain. But Burlap Chase.
I'm a little older though, man. I grew up on the Ren and Stimpy cartoon, man. That shit. Watching it now though, wow. When you go back and watch Ren and Stimpy now, I was like, I can't believe my mom let me watch this shit.
Yo, that's how I feel about Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah,
How the fuck are kids watching? Like, how was I able to watch this? Because Rocco's Modern Life, it touched on some adult shit.
hell yeah,
On a show that's on Nickelodeon.
that was real.
If you want to talk about Nicktoons that were supposed to be for kids but are clearly not for kids, Invader Zim.
I'm not.
Dude,
Okay, I'm not
the,
familiar with
the,
that show.
the guy that created those characters also wrote a comic book called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
I remember that. Johnny.
Super dark gothic comic book about this guy who's
Jamal, how long you been doing comedy?
September 17th, 2011.
You gonna make me do the math. Okay, cool. Carry the one though.
It's been about a decade.
Yeah.
It's been about a decade.
Wait.
And September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So yeah, about 10 and a half years.
September's coming up, man. Fast. My birthday's a couple days.
Oh, is it? Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
How young are you?
I will be 43 on May 21st.
Wow, okay. You look younger than that, but then again,
I mean, wait till I shave. I look 30 at the most when I shave. It's the hairline that gives me away. It's the hairline that gives me away. That dude, yeah, he aged very well. He's using a lot of great moisturizer. But you know what though? I take collagen, man. I take collagen. Just take collagen, man. That's the reason why your skin gets all wrinkly is because of collagen. Just take collagen.
I don't know. White women, if that's what's keeping me young, maybe that's what that is.
Me too. I mean, I do got some gray hairs. That's come from my younger life. A couple grays, but when I shave, I'm clear.
Yeah, I got a bit on keeping just to make me look sophisticated.
Ha!
Or distinguished. You know, I feel like for some reason like women like older guys or older-ish guys because it's like, you know what? We're not playing with toys. We're not kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to we figured it out. For the most part.
I think women like older men because you figured out the vagina. That's what it really is. You know how to make a woman come. It's very difficult. Young dudes have a hard time getting orgasms out of women. There's like 80% of women don't have orgasms until much later in life. And it's because young dudes are just like, when you're 18, where is it? How did I get it in? I got it in. All right, that was good for me. How about you? Okay, good.
I still think that part of the reason why that is because they don't tell you what they want.
Well, on top of that, it's difficult. I don't think women know what they want because there's so much programming and conditioning that goes into a woman before they even know what sex is or anything like that. On top of that, the way that human beings are taught sex is ridiculous. Like your PE teacher gives you like a pamphlet and it's like, don't get STDs, wash your balls, put on deodorant. Ovaries work like this, and that's it.
It's in that order.
And that's it. And you're like, don't be stinky, and don't be stinky, and you can have babies now. Yeah. And you should probably wear condoms because people are gross.
So here's the show called Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Tell you everything you need to know.
Dude.
About sex.
Dude, that show blew my mind.
Jamal, I think Mr. Harrington Rabbit, I think you should dress up as one of the hormone monsters for Halloween this year.
Oh yeah, baby, get in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, get in there. Stick it in there and wet it all up. Cream all over everybody. Yeah. The dude is so fun. I thought that was the dude from Arrested Development. I can't remember the actor's name.
I thought that was Will Arnett.
Yes.
Nick Kroll.
In this Kroll. He did like 10 or 11 voices in that first season.
He's also like the creator of the show.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yes. Which it's brilliant. It's a great show. Blew my mind.
Mom's parole officer.
Yeah. Dude, he kills it. I not such a big fan of the spinoff though.
Yeah, the spinoff is like The Office. I didn't care for it.
what is it? HR.
HR, yes.
Yeah, this is what they said in the first episode. It's like Big Mouth in the office had a baby.
Yeah. So I'm not mad at the concept. Not mad at the writing. I don't like whatever the lead chick's name. I don't like your voice. She's the chick from SNL.
You mean Jenny Slate?
No. The lead character in the HR show is the chubby chick from SNL.
Wait, you're not talking about my
Amy Bryant.
Amy Bryant.
80
Bryant.
Okay.
Do not like her voice. Do not like her voice. I was like, oh man, if anybody's voice, I'd be on board with the show. It's just I can't binge watch that voice.
I had the worst time watching.
It's just sharp.
I had a hard time watching Bob's Burgers because of Kristen Shaw's voice.
Oh. Yeah.
It was kind of like nails in a
Yeah, she has a very unique voice too. I like her in person because I can see her face, but her voice is a little bit. It's wearing.
Yeah.
It's in a frequency that my ears don't like. You know what I mean?
It's the brown note.
She can't do nothing about that though.
I know. Oh, I know.
It's almost like, oh my. I mean, it's like, could you imagine like meeting her like on a blind? Oh my God, that's how you sound. Check please. Like you sound like you're like this high pitched Jewy. I can only do so much with that.
Yeah.
You sound a little too. She makes.
Yeah.
Fran Drescher sound sexy.
Fran Drescher does sound sexy.
She basically, well,
I like it.
I'm not sure, but again, New York, like I run into women like.
Oh, right.
Especially with like Jewish funeral homes, I run into like these women who actually sound like that, and I said to myself, I'm in New York.
Right.
This is like I've lived here for 22 years off and on, and if I heard that voice in Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, I'd be like, okay, what part of Brooklyn are you from? Like where? But I hear it, and it almost gives me like joy that I'm like, oh yes, I'm back in New York. I'm back in my habitat where I feel like I belong. Since I'm from here anyway, but it's like every time I hear it, every time I hear like a Fran Drescher voice, or if a Jewish chick is yelling at me, I'm just like, keep it coming.
It gives you a boner, does it?
It does. Like get it all out.
So let me ask you a question. New York versus West Coast. Is it true the bagels are that much more delicious than the East Coast?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story right now about bagels. I'm not even supposed to be having bagels. But there's this one place. There's this one place that I just happened to be on the phone with. I think it was my mom or my lady friend. And it is. I work on 54th Street. The bagel spot's on 36th Street. I have to take a train 2 stops to get there. But what I do is I walk there.
Damn.
This is a nice day most of the time, and I'm on the phone, so I don't like being on the phone while I'm in the subway.
Right.
So I take that nice little walk, and I'm not getting a dime from throwing this name out there, but it's called Sunset Bagel in Sunset Park. It's like on 4th Avenue and 36th Street, right by the DNR train. I go there and I get a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese lox, a lox spread with cream cheese on it, and I sit there and I eat it like it's gonna be my last meal.
If I have anything with cream cheese, it will be my last meal.
Me too.
I am lactose intolerant as shit, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It's that gamble you're willing to take when it comes to that bagel.
Oh yeah. I'm willing to make the fucking benches on the subway look like a Jackson Pollock. But because I'm like, it's the bagel. I have no problem because it's New York and people expect weird shit. I mean, I would be embarrassed,
Right.
But it's New York. You expect weird shit, and sometimes you are the weird shit.
Right. Taking a weird shit.
Taking a weird shit.
I'm very picky on the bagels, and now I've been going to this place. Let's see, last week and the week before.
Damn.
I went there every day except for 2 days. So if I'm doing a delivery and I'm driving back, and it's in my route, I will double park, run in, make the order, run out, one hand on the wheel, one hand in my face with a bagel.
Wow.
Going nuts. It is that good. The bagels are fresh and it's amazing. There's a few places that I know that really do good bagels. I stopped doing like bodega bagels because sometimes they're just not that good. They're not that fresh.
Right.
I don't know how they store it.
Right.
And how old it is.
Right.
But if I go to like Sunset Bagels, if I go to a couple of other bagel joints, I can tell that, oh, these are fresh bagels. They dump out the old bagels or give it to homeless people or whatever. But yeah, the bagels here are to die for.
Okay. I mean, I'm gluten free and I can't eat none, but I just wanted to know.
Well, yeah, I'm supposed to. I'm on a diet. I like a very low carb diet. But I eat a bagel. That's fine.
That stuff, but I do.
I'm gonna try it. I gotta eat everything.
Like I drove past the place today actually, and I was like, and then I thought to myself, I was like, this is heroin over here. You gotta get half of my food.
Every day.
I have the same problem whenever I drive past the Dick's Drive-In. I have to stop and get myself a couple cheeseburgers and a milkshake, even though the milkshake will destroy me.
No, I haven't had a milkshake in a decade, man. I remember my last milkshake. I remember Oreo.
Actually, I had a blizzard yesterday.
Oop, that was it.
This is a 50-50. It might hit me hard, and it might not hit me at all. And let's just say I had to make several trips to the restroom.
I took one trip and I never left.
I had a smoothie, this was a cheat day, so I had a smoothie, and I think they put milk in the smoothie. I don't drink whole milk. Usually it's like a soy milk that I've been drinking lately. But I drank it and I was like, wow, this tastes like. I was like, is there milk in here? And he was like, yeah. And I'm on my way to deliver like another casket, like 15 miles out from where I was at, and I needed to use the bathroom so bad. Now, nothing is more sadder than when you're delivering the casket, and then like 20 minutes later, after you put the casket where it's supposed to be, the funeral director sees you again because you never left. Because you say, oh, I need to use the bathroom, and you think, oh, I'll be in there like a couple of minutes or whatever. No, I'm sitting on the toilet thinking about that smoothie, and I'm like, I don't want to I'm very weird when it comes to using like funeral bathrooms or funeral home bathrooms because it's like you're sitting there praying to whatever God. And it's like you leave and they're just like, oh, you're still here, and I'm like,
yeah, just destroyed your toilet.
I feel like it should be a safe space.
You might need a casket for the toilet that I just destroyed.
Like, who's gonna smell it? Everybody's dead in there, man. Calm down.
True, but at the same time, it's like if somebody is working on a body and then they go to the bathroom and they smell the inside of your living body, it's okay, who's the wise guy?
I mean, you working with a dead body, man. A dead body stink, man.
No, it does.
Can't be worse than yours. They probably shit on these dead bodies fart too.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. It's funny. It's like you don't really smell like the decaying body. You basically smell like the cleaning product that they use. So I'm just like, wow, it must have been really funky here. Showed up, because it smells like formaldehyde. Embalming fluids and all that. I mean, but if you're walking into and that's depending on what part you walk into. If you walk into the back, oh yeah, you're gonna see some shit. But if you walk through the front, it's like roses in the front and like a little timer spray thing that they
right.
We want you to talk to us and console with us without you worried about what's going on behind the scenes. But if you go in the back, there's cut up bodies. There's
oh my god.
It's like you're asking, oh, how did this hooker die? I watch the news, which I probably shouldn't do, and every time a cop dies, it's like it's like, okay, we're gonna do a free casket for the funeral because I think we give out free caskets to like NYPD and FDNY. And if my boss is listening, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's a weird job.
I guess that sounds like a lucrative business though. Like, because like,
Yeah, everybody dies.
do you remember like back in the day, like you know? Well, let me rephrase it. In every Western movie, there's the guy who makes all the caskets, and he's just like, there's all the gunmen coming to town. He's like, oh yeah, bang, bang, bang. He's about to come up.
Except for the measuring tape.
I got this job in the height of the pandemic.
Oh, job security. Job security. Job security.
When they told me what I was going to be doing,
That's so funny.
They're like, we need to unload a trunk full of caskets. And I was like, okay. And I thought it was a joke. I thought like my handler was pulling my leg. I get there at 3 a.m. A big ass 53 truck pulls up in front of the warehouse, and in it, from the front all the way to the back,
From the window to the wall.
And usually it'd be 2 trailers, but it'd be like 125 caskets that we have to unload from the truck.
Wow.
And we have to put in bin locations and scan them into the building and all that. And it was like, holy shit, this is caskets. And then when I started going on the road and helping out, and then now I'm a driver now, it's like, if I see a dead body, it's part of the, it's like, poor, shriveled up old lady, I hope she died of natural causes. But you see a lot, and let me tell you something, if you were to tell me that I'd be doing this job along with being a stand-up comedy and being able to write jokes about this, I would be like, you're out of your fucking mind. I find myself writing jokes while I'm on the road because like I think of these weird things, and I'm gonna share with you guys something that I was actually gonna put on Facebook, but I decided not to. And this is like the first time I'm gonna do this. So I got a ticket for speeding. I was on the highway. A cop pulls me over. I'm delivering caskets. Cop pulls me over for speeding, and he's like, you know what? You know why I pulled you over? I was like, yeah, most likely for speeding. And he's like, well, what's your rush? I'm like, well, sir, if you must know, in the back, I have caskets. But one of them has the body of a fallen officer.
Nice.
I need to get this casket to the funeral home so the family, so that, the family is there and they need to do the viewing. And he's like, there's a fallen officer behind there. Yeah, I don't know if you watch the news, but cops are getting shot every day here now. So it could be anybody.
Right.
It could be anybody. So he's like, yeah, I need to get there fast. So if you're gonna give me the ticket so I can be on my way. The officer, and if you want, you can see the casket. It's a very beautiful casket. You know what? I believe you, and it gives me like an escort.
Nice.
I knew that was coming.
Breaking lights and everything. Now, here's the thing. I get to the funeral home. I thank him. He leaves. There's no bodies.
You just had to hurry up and take a shit when you got to the funeral home. It's because you ate them bagels. You had to hurry up and take a shit at the funeral home.
Let's hope he doesn't listen to the podcast.
We have a casket with a fallen officer who's probably going to be inside of it. Yeah, but do we have bodies in it? No.
Oh.
How will you talk yourself out of a ticket? You tell me.
Well, I'm gonna try it. I was thinking about trying it, but I feel like I would fuck it up. And I got a dead body in the back. Wait, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's a dead cop in my back. No, wait.
It's funny because it's like the name on my van, like the name of the company's in a van, but it also has like a little thing like helping families remember. Because if that wasn't there, I would just be delivering dead bodies. Like I'm just some creep walking around with driving around with 4 caskets with 4 different dead bodies. Just to name what's this Aurora company that I'm like, if you Google us, it'll explain everything. I swear I'm not a crazy person.
We have a website.
You can also blame the smell of whatever's in the vehicle on the dead bodies, right?
Well, I clean my vehicle, so it's like But again, we don't carry dead bodies like in any of the trucks at all.
Right.
Because that's just you, and then they don't pay us enough to deal with that.
Like,
But there are people. I mean, I've actually been asked, hey, we pay they pay very well. Just go to a hospital, grab a body out of the morgue, and bring it to a beer. I would love to do that. I'll be in a room with like 8 dead bodies in a chapel while like working on a casket, and I will talk to them.
no.
I would do my material.
You're killing him there.
They're already. It's like.
You're like, do you like when I do a deadpan?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
tell Jamal your idea for your casket comedy show.
What?
So I told my boss this. My boss actually listened
What?
to that, and he fucking loved it. He loved it. I was like, was I out of line with my ideas? So I had an idea. I still have this idea where I'm interviewing comedians while they're lying in caskets, and I'll call it like comedians in caskets while having coffee. And then like we talk about like what kind of caskets that they're in. If you're Jewish, we got Jewish caskets. We'd be like, this is what it's gonna be like when you're dead, so you might as well get used to.
It's super comfy, man.
There's no handles, so you don't have to worry about working on the Sabbath. But and then just like put like real killer headliners and like a Cadillac of caskets.
Right. How much is the most expensive casket?
I know there's one that was like $10,000 that I saw. People mark it up.
$1,000.
Well, I think it's a wooden casket. Oh yeah, it's a hard wooden casket. I mean it's I don't know what kind of wood it is.
But somebody's body is gonna rot in it though, right?
I think they actually burn the casket along with it, depending on like what state you're in. But yeah.
$10,000 for a casket.
We'll wholesale it for $10,000. It'll probably get sold for like $40.
Whoa! Wholesale price is $10,000.
Yeah.
People are a casket is the same amount of money as like an SUV. Is what you're tell me.
Well, for the most part, yeah.
What the fuck?
You could go to a shitty funeral home and they'll just be like, okay, give us the refrigerator box that you want this person buried in, and
fold it up in the box.
There's like this casket that this casket that we delivered, and it had like a little mark on it, and very very well known funeral home, and they're like, oh, we this is unacceptable. Can you take this back and have it buffed out? This is a $58,000 casket, and I'm like, this was $28,000. Like I know this was $28,000. So
that's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, funerals cost a lot.
So
I did not know.
We talked about caskets last week.
There are some caskets that are like $5,000. But it's just like your metal, very light casket. That's just like.
Who cares?
You put like a rock on top of it. It ends up on the ground. That's all I say. It all ends up on the ground.
Who cares?
We talked about this, and I mentioned how Kiss, the band Kiss, they have their own branded caskets.
Wow.
And I just Googled to find out how much those things went for. They went for $4,000, and it has like their faces all over it, their painted faces all over it, and the band's name all over it.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, there's not a huge market for Kiss. Because here's the thing: if somebody
Kiss, as in the band Kiss.
No, I know. What I'm saying is, it's not a market for something like that because people take this shit very seriously.
Right.
Unless you're like a diehard rock and roll fan, it's like, oh yeah, bury me in a Kiss coffin. No, people are like, no, we want something nice. Like, you gotta put that shit in your will. Like, bury me in a kiss coffin. No, fuck that. I don't be buried in no kiss coffin at all. What if that coffin sends me to hell? Like, we don't know.
I'm like, I'm mind blown that people spend this much money on coffins. I had no idea, man. I thought that they were like $1,000. I was like, what the fuck?
It's a lot cheaper.
Hey, that's like
Very.
an SUV, man. It doesn't even come with a sound system. Like, you don't even got Bluetooth in that casket.
Yeah, that's what you should start doing, Jamal, selling caskets with Bluetooth systems.
Actually, I think there are some that already have that, where they actually have a camera where you could actually.
Oh, you can view the body?
Camera, and you could view the body as it's rotting. Yeah,
Oh my God.
You can build a casket these days. It's pretty phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even have this one where it's like a fully bronze one, and when you open the lid, there's like a glass part that you also open.
Wow.
So you open up the lid, see people like in this glass.
You buried in a deli case?
It's like, is it bulletproof? It's like the Pope Mobile and shit.
That's exactly what it's like. It's like 50 Cent, like 50 Cent style of casket.
You just don't want anybody to desecrate your grave because you're gonna get buried with 15 chains on and shit.
Open the casket, and then when you open it, it's like a piece of glass that just latches down on there, and then you hit a button and you pick it up, and then you could. But yeah, no, it's. I've had people ask me, hey, do you ever climb inside and see what it feels like? And I've been tempted to,
but you don't want to get fired.
Yeah, we have cameras. What the fuck is our employee doing?
I'm just checking the size. I wanted to check to see how long it was.
No, I'm on the
watched
break.
the Monsters movie and it looked really comfortable.
They do look very comfortable, though. I mean, they're all pillow lined. I mean, if it's $40,000, it better have fucking pillows. It better have Jesus' hair sewed into the walls.
We could make that happen because we do design caskets. We do design like the lids, and we do design like the interiors sometimes. We had one guy, and this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like one of the panels, he had like a very huge blunt that we made for them because that's what they asked for.
Right.
And I was like, wait, is that like a spliff? And it was a joint. He's like, yep, that's what they asked for. And then I think there was one where somebody had like a gun. So I'm like, all right, guess these gangsters also buy caskets too.
Gangsters, yeah. I mean, they buy a lot with drug money.
Yeah, so it's there's a lot of money flowing around. It's always funny to like know who like owns these funeral parlors because I think there's like a good percentage of these guys are like have ties with the mob. So I'm like, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I just watched the Ozarks. They owned a crematory just to kill when the people they killed, they could just burn.
Yeah. So like I'll walk into a room and there'll be like a guy counting like cash, like thousands of dollars. Oh yeah, what's up, Mr. Arrington? You know what? Just take that over there to Chapel A. Come back in there and I'll take care of you. And I'm like, yep. I can see why this place is still open.
A lot of caskets fell off the truck.
He sounds like a cast member of The Godfather over there.
That was very Sopranos. You got a real wait, forget about it.
Open the casket. See this guy here? See this guy here? He owed me $10,000. I had him whacked.
And the casket, he's a constant 12.
Yeah, forget about it. He just slides you 100.
Dude.
Yeah, but like you say, recession proof.
Yeah.
Like what? I'm like, wait, are we gonna be in another lockdown? Cool. I'm for it.
And I can imagine like some people with money want like a prestigious, like they're not burying their person in the ground. They have like a, what do they call the house, the mausoleum.
Yeah, the mausoleum. Yeah.
They got the mausoleum. Your casket's on like a giant brick.
Sometimes we start our days in cemeteries. Like, yep, the sun's not even out yet, and I'm at a cemetery at 7 in the morning.
Damn.
7:30 in the morning. It's like, well, this is part of the
It
office.
sounds silly. Do you guys? I'm so interested. I'm like, does Has there ever been any recycled caskets? Like somebody died in it and then like, well, never mind. We switched our mind.
Good question. Yes, it happens all the time. But the body's not in it. Like they're just like, we found a metal version of this one. Can we get that? And then like we'll just bring it to them. But there's also like this thing that we do called rental caskets.
What?
Where we'll bring them like a wooden casket, but what we do is we change the insides.
All right.
So there's like a cardboard inside that we put inside, and we kind of dress it up a little bit, and it's mainly for viewings.
Right.
When they're done with it, they take the body out to go get cremated. They take the insert, probably throw it away or something, and then we get the outer part of the casket. We just return it back to the warehouse, inspect it, fix it if there's like any dents or whatever, and then we just
gross.
That's
You gonna put a dead body where I'm gonna put my dead body? That's nasty.
And sometimes I'm just like, I think there was one time where we had one guy, we had like this temp, one of the drivers brought back a casket that was a rental, that a body was in it, but the funeral home, I guess, failed to clean it because it still smelled like that body.
Wow.
Sent one of was like, hey, can you go look inside the casket? I think we have the ticket inside. And he went over there, opened it up, and it was like this waft of just like
It's like it's the smell of like feet.
Worse than that. It's like a dead animal, man. It's the smell of death.
That's exactly what
it's like.
It's an asshole, like
somebody doing a sniff test. Somebody got to do a sniff test on the caskets. This is fresh. Oh God. Something smells dead in there.
I wouldn't bring it back like that. But
you gotta burn that one.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, we're gonna just leave it outside.
You gotta let the sun do what it do, baby. UV rays.
Air that shit out.
Somebody's got a whole bottle of Lysol.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like I'll go to wakes, or I'll go to like viewings, and it's funny because like I'll go to viewings of like places that I deliver the cat. Oh, hey, what's up, Hayden?
Yeah.
Like, are you delivering caskets? I'm like, no, I had a family member that passed. So.
Man.
That's so fucked up.
All right. I know what business I need to open.
But yeah, no, it's but I will say this though. The one thing that if there's anything you can take away from like this business all around is that the chicks that come out of mortuary school are so hot. Bro, like you'll see like a chick like fucking elbow deep in somebody else and everything. Oh, can I help you? Yeah. Some places that we deliver cancer, I'm like, and mainly it's like women. Mainly, they've kind of dominated, in my opinion, this industry.
Really?
Because they go to like a mortuary school and they learn a lot and they get paid very well, but they're like I'll go in there, I'm like, you should be modeling. Like, what the fuck are you doing this?
You go into there and I think most people expect to see women who look like Elvira and shit that go into
right.
places.
Well, of course. Yeah, I feel like women are just as twisted as men, and I feel like being able to dig into a body and rip organs out is like a fantasy for a lot of women.
I think women are way more twisted than guys because they really get into watching those murder mysteries.
Yes. Oh, serial killers and shit like that. Following the yeah.
True crime.
Yes, true crime.
I mean, there is like something to be said because it's almost like I'm gonna like sit some of these girls down and be like, okay, we need to find out where your dad hurt you. Because why? Like, who hurt you? But a lot of them are just like, yeah, they like horror movies. They're, they got, they got tattoos and like, I'm like, it's like rock and roll tattoos. I'm like, yeah, you belong here. Like, this makes sense.
Speaking of Elvira, she's gonna be in Seattle in like the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
There's a big horror convention.
Elvira is still alive?
Yeah, she's in her 70s, man.
She
still looks fucking hot, dude.
I believe it.
Yeah, Crypticon in Seattle.
Her breasts still sit up in her 70s?
I would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine they would not.
Industrial strength bras, I'm sure.
You gotta
Okay.
crank it out, dude.
What's her net worth? Because then that'll determine whether I.
You know half the equipment she likes.
Oh.
Wait, she's gay?
Yeah, she came out last year.
Oh,
geez.
good for her. Took her
You
70
know what?
years.
Okay, first of all, this is the second time on this show that I had a crush on somebody, and then Cousin Todd had to tell me that this person was gay. Okay? No, I'm serious. No, because first of all, Todd is like the bearer of bad news. He's like, I got bad news for you. She's gay. I'm like, shut up. And then when I have to Google it to make sure Todd is correct, and I'm like, I'll be damned.
Very, huh? I believe it.
Peterson's her real name, and she came out last year, or earlier this year even.
At 69.
Hey.
She came out like in the last 6 to 12 months. So yeah.
Okay.
She's
in her early 70s.
So I think we're gonna come out with a list of disappointments that Todd had. The girl from Saturday Night Live. I don't even know if she's still there.
Oh yeah, Kate. Yeah.
Kate McKinnon?
Kate McKinnon's gay. Yeah.
I just found out this year that she was gay, but of course Todd knew it before I did. He's like, "Can't you tell?" I'm like, "Obviously not," because I've been thinking about.
Oh, dude, if you've been watching SNL, she talks about it.
Yeah. So yeah, you're Kate McKinnon, and you're peoples. You're a very beautiful lady, and I apologize. You're just my type of gal.
She's funny.
I'm with you on that. I thought she was extremely. I still think she's attractive, but like knowing that she's not into dudes, I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, that's it's one more to add to the list of many.
And I'm gonna assume that she's probably like the manly-ish type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like butch type. But I saw those Verizon commercials. I was like, what? Hey, you keep popping up on my Hulu like this. I might have to switch to Verizon.
Yeah. I am not. I do not think she's attractive, but that is interesting.
I think it's because she's funny.
Yes.
That's why I think she's attractive.
She's hilarious.
She's okay. We'll go with that. I mean, she let me tell you something. If you're a chick that can make me laugh, we don't even. Yeah. What you want me to sign in a prenup?
Yeah. I'm down.
Yeah, don't feel bad, dude. I found out that I had a crush on Rosie, and when I found
Rosie
O'Donnell.
Oh,
well, yeah. I think
and
we
this
all
is
thought that.
way before she ever came out.
uh,
I never had no clue, none whatsoever. All the characters she played in movies were all very effeminate and whatever else. And I only seen a handful of her stand-ups, and I just assumed that a lot of the bits she did were about her dad, and the how she presented herself was her doing an impression of her dad. No clue.
I haven't watched SNL in a while, man. It's so hit and miss for me. I haven't watched it since Jay Farrell left, I think. I might have seen a couple of the episodes with Alec Baldwin playing Donald Trump.
Yeah, I kind of started watching it when he was doing that. Then I came back again when Jim Carrey was doing Joe Biden.
Oh, I did see those. I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Jim Carrey is so. Here's my take on Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is over it. Like he's so done.
Yeah,
He's so done. Like his last movie is gonna be Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Like he doesn't give any fucks anymore. I feel like he made all his money, lived all his dreams, did everything he wanted to do, and now he just takes acid and paints pictures.
Yeah. No.
Do you think is he microdosing or is he just full on just taking?
Oh, he's out of this world. He's like gone.
Well, he's also got other issues too. So that
Yeah,
looks like he's probably taking acid. He's probably just not medicating anymore.
Man, Jim is killing it. I've seen him do some dramatic movie though. He doesn't talk the whole movie. He's like bald. He's bald and has like a gray beard. You can't even really recognize him.
Oh yeah. I saw a photo of him, and they said, "Can you guess who this is?" And nobody got it.
It's Jim Carrey. I was like, wow. It was very impressive.
Like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. I've been checking out. I've been kind of analyzing the dramatic comedian movies lately. Kind of going back and touching back up on them. The king is Robin Williams.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
He's the
Thank
king.
you. I've been saying that for a year.
He's the king.
He's like my number 2, but yeah, he's entertainer. Definitely Robin Williams. He's my second favorite comedian of all time, even.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yes, for sure.
He was one of the 2 first comedians I was ever exposed to as a kid.
Right. Yeah, he was on all the comic reliefs I watched too. Yeah, I mean, he was such a huge name in comedy throughout the 80s and 90s. I think Hook is a perfect movie.
Yes.
Not Hook. Yeah, Hook. Yeah, like everything he's done has been superbly magical, but his dramatic pieces are, with the exception of like Jamie Foxx, who I think is on that level too.
Oh, definitely.
Like
Yes.
Jamie Foxx's acting is I thought he was Ray. You know what I mean? I thought he was Ray. Like I still think he's Ray. He has it good. Like he just does it so good, and he plays and all the other shit too. So, between Jamie Foxx and Robin Williams are the 2 best dramatic comedic actors ever.
How about Eddie Murphy?
I never seen him really do anything dramatic to me that was like so real and compelling that it made me want to cry or anything like that. You know what I mean? I seen him do action movies. What movie? Dreamgirls? Yeah. But
He's done a few dramatic films.
yeah, and he
But
just
then at the same time, it's like it's Eddie Murphy. When you see him, it's like, oh, it's either like when he flies.
He was in Harlem Nights. That wasn't a comedy.
no, but he was very funny in it. He was the straight man being funny though. You know, I'm gonna shoot you in your pinky toe. You know, it's super funny stuff, but he wasn't slapstick or anything.
That sounds like his brother more than him.
Yeah. Charlie Murphy, R.I.P. man. My whole thing right now is like, it's like I feel like there's so many comedians, but not everybody's aspiring to be great anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to go for the fences anymore. Everybody's like, all right, I'm funny. I'll just stay in this little funny pocket. Like, go hard.
I think the last comic to like try. I mean, I just brought up Louis C.K. This morning actually. Like as far as he's a great supporting actor,
Right.
And like I thought a lot of the movies that he has been in, he's not carrying a movie, but the roles that he has been playing, I'm like, you know what? If he keeps this up, he might even get like bigger roles that might be something bigger. Especially for a comic at his caliber.
Right.
So, like I thought he was amazingly funny in American Hustle.
Right.
You know who I think probably does some good dramatic films is Bobcat Goldthwait.
Okay.
I mean, he's like Shix the Clown was his, right?
I don't know. I know Bill Burr's been doing some acting too.
Bill Burr's fucking hysterical. And he was in like 3 or 4 episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He plays a former trooper, I think.
Lavelle Crawford did some acting in Better Call Saul.
Yes. Hooper was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And they were straight. You know, they're not being funny people or whatever. So I've been seeing a lot more people getting to. I feel like comedians are the best actors.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great people who start off as comedians and became really good actors in whatever genre of acting they got into. Like the guy who voices Bender on Futurama, he was a comedian.
Oh, right.
So was John DiMaggio's his name.
Oh, you know, while we're talking about Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk.
Oh yeah, he's a comedian too.
Yeah, one of the best comedic writers of all time.
Mr. Show, yeah. Mr. Show.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of straight stuff. Like he's actually killing the whole Saul character from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul actually.
He also did an action film recently too.
Yeah, I watched it. It was the Nobody or something like that, Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, Mr. Nobody, yeah.
Something like that, and it was actually really good. He was very serious in that role, and it was a very, very, very violent action film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like he was like a badass Marine Navy SEAL type character, and was out there just like I forgot exactly what the story is, and I'm probably I don't want to give it up for everybody, but he was just a tough guy. He was going out there kicking ass.
Total badass.
Yeah, man, they're out there. They get. I want to see. I did see a movie with Jay Farrow in it, and I didn't enjoy it. I feel like he overacts a little bit much. I did see Kevin Hart doing the Kevin Hart Netflix thing with Wesley Snipes. He played a serious role. That was his first role being serious.
Oh, dude, yeah.
He killed it.
That movie was awesome.
It was really good. I was like, okay. He was on screen with Wesley Snipes, and Wesley Snipes is notoriously, to me, one of the best actors of all time. Like he brings it. You know, I've seen him in every type of character you could think of, and he kills it every time. And the fact that he was on screen with Wesley Snipes and held his own.
Misfits.
Oh, Misfits.
Misfits and Monsters. It was like an anthology series. Each episode was like a different mini movie.
Okay.
It was kind of
I don't really watch horror shit. That's probably why I missed it.
it's not like straight scary, but it's super fucking creepy.
Yeah, I don't watch none of that shit. I'm very guarded about what I let in my subconscious. Because I grew up with my aunts trying to terrorize me. And so I stayed up and watched, Elm Street when I was 8 and couldn't sleep for a week. And I watched Jason and, so ever since then, I'm like, I don't go camping because of Jason. I stayed up all night, became insomniac because of Freddy. I didn't go to the woods because of Blair Witch. Didn't get in the ocean because of Jaws. They all fucked me up for life.
Oh, man. Jaws fucked me up because when that movie came out, I was 5, okay? And my mom didn't have a babysitter to watch me when she went to go see this movie. And she had no idea how terrifying this movie was going to be for a 5-year-old. I was traumatized for decades. I, to this day, feel uneasy going into deep water where I can't see the bottom.
Nope.
And
so I see that poster. That's all I see is the poster with the girl swimming at the surface.
Every time it's deep, dark water, I there's something underneath me, isn't there? But yeah.
Well, I don't really fuck with the ocean like that anyway. It's not my habitat. You know what I mean? I'll go to the beach. I'll stay on the beach. The ocean though, that's not my habitat.
Like where the water touches the sand, that's a no-no.
That's where I end. I stay on the land. And where I can't touch my land anymore, then I go back to the land.
Yeah, I'm better at when I'm in a lake because you don't find men eating
True.
Fish of any kind of sea animal in lakes.
I fuck with lakes.
Not around here anyway.
I fuck with lakes, but it took me a long time to. I'm from Los Angeles, man. More specifically the South Central. I got cousins from Compton, Inglewood, and shit like that. And I'm talking about whole generations of people have never been to the beach. They don't leave the block.
Wow.
So, I went to the beach and whatnot, but I never really was into the wilderness and outside type stuff. I didn't go camping for my first time until I was like 35 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm just now.
Time as a kid.
I never.
The best description I ever heard, I don't remember what comedian said it, but it's like, why is it white folks have to pretend they're homeless and go live in the woods?
Yeah, and I've been camping, and I wouldn't even call it camping. It was definitely glamping. We had an RV and all that. Like, I never was dig a hole in the woods camping.
You know what? I never did that. We always were at a campsite that at least had a porta potty. You know, we didn't dig holes, none of that shit.
I was a Boy Scout in junior high, so I've done the whole camping and swimming and like the merit badge stuff, the wilderness survival shit.
That's so cool, man. We couldn't afford the Boy Scouts, so we did what they call there was a B program called the Indian Guides. We didn't get to go nowhere. We just made a drum out of a coffee can and feathers out of construction paper, and we made turkeys with our hand and painted pine cones. So hey.
I didn't do Scouts. I was in Cub Scouts very briefly. Then they moved me over to a church friendly version of it. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a Baptist church, and they have their own version of the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts.
Man, that you got it bad, man. The Boy Scouts and church. Wow, that's like you got you had an 80% chance of getting molested right there, boy.
No, it wasn't. It was Baptist. It wasn't Catholic.
Oh, okay, all right. Right, 60% chance.
And oddly enough, every minister I ever met had a Southern accent. I don't understand.
That's so funny
No.
because it's Baptist. That's why. But dude, but still, the boy, what do you call it? The Boy Scouts, they had a huge lawsuit against them because a lot of kids got molested.
Yeah.
Like over decades.
Yeah, it's like
Next.
people were talking about Catholic Church. I was like, hold my beer.
So I know where not to send my kids. Boy Scouts and church. Got it. Cool. I don't got kids.
I kind of feel left out because I never got that.
You weren't good. You weren't good looking enough for those priests.
Yeah.
I mean, I was one of like the very few black kids that was the Boy Scouts that are probably like, yeah, we're not gonna do dark.
He's like, he's got it bad enough.
Like, yeah, no, we're gonna. And I think I was because I was scared. The pop was like, no, he looks like the top that'll tell his mom. He looks like that type that's gonna, cost us millions of dollars. So I think that's why they didn't touch. They didn't have.
Like, yeah, he's for sure snitching.
Yeah.
He's definitely telling your mom.
As a matter of fact, like I think I had like a shirt that just said "I'm telling." That's what I didn't wear like my Boy Scout gear, just like that. I'm telling with like my sash around, like my snitching badge.
The snitching badge.
I had like my switchblade badge.
I'm telling mom badge.
That's so funny. I have my snitching badge.
Well, we are just past the 2-hour mark, and we usually end the show with what have you been binge watching? What was the last thing you watched? Like a lot of like a whole episodes or a movie or whatever.
Me?
Yeah.
I literally just watched Moon Knight. I just watched it twice.
Oh, I haven't seen the final episode yet, so.
Oh, it's worth the watch.
Today, right?
I'm really big into ancient Egyptian mythology. I'm always disappointed that it's always whitewashed. You never see any black guys, but at least they're a little more tan in this version. They were actually Egyptian actors and whatnot in the film. So I really enjoyed it. And, obviously set it up to watch the Doctor Strange 2.
I just saw that.
And I also watched Ozark. I just watched that as well because that's the most gangster shit I've ever seen on TV. And if you haven't seen that, the wife is the villain. I ruined it for you.
Spoiler alert, asshole.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I care not.
I about 5 years ago, I had this huge Facebook rant about the Seahawks fans up here. Like, you're the same assholes who cry spoilers about like Game of Thrones, but you'll talk all damn day about the fucking Seahawks, won't you?
That's fun. I know a lot of people are like, "Don't tell me I'm recording the game. Don't tell me."
Right?
And everybody always tells them because because it's hard for football fans to stay quiet about their team winning or losing. Such big mouths about both. Can't believe we lost. Oh, shut up, man! I want to watch the game later. We won. Good. Did you see that play that was what Bubba did?
Yeah. Well, the shows I've been watching recently, I've been watching Moon Knight, which has been fantastic.
It is great.
Love it. It's someone once told me that Moon Knight was essentially Marvel's version of Batman if Batman was schizophrenic.
Ha ha ha. Okay.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. And I'm watching and going, ooh, they're not wrong. You know.
Tony Stark's his Batman because he's rich and stupid and just uses his money for powers. The moment I had superpowers, you can't compare him to Batman.
Well, I mean, just the overall like look of him.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
And just the brooding, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, don't fuck with me on the Moon Knight kind of thing.
Right. But then he gets all goofy with the English accent. Yeah.
He multiple personalities. One is British, one is American, and I don't know what the third one was.
He was Spanish.
Oh, what was he?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to watch that last episode because we only see a little bit of him in the last episode.
Well, watch the last episode and then watch all the way through the credits because you know how Marvel likes to do it. I can't even go to a regular movie no more without watching the credits all the way to the very last frame and shit.
Credits, yeah, you have to watch.
Because fucking Marvel ruined movies for me forever. I have to watch the fucking frame go away and all black and be like, there was nothing else, right? We didn't miss nothing, right?
That's when the lights come on, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. I sat through all the credits for fucking every DC movie that's came out in the last 5 years with nothing at the end of each one of them.
I did enjoy Batman. I watched it about 3 or 4 times.
Of the Batman?
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Harrington, have you watched that one yet?
No, what happened?
It's good.
I just finished watching Batman season 2 from like the 1966 Adam West. That was 60 episodes long, and it took me so long to get through it. So I finished wrapping that up. I actually just started a new show that's very interesting, I guess. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's on Hulu now. I think it was on FX. It's called Snowfall.
Oh yeah, I'm all caught up.
I'm on season. I just watched like 5 episodes before coming like on my way back here. Just watched the first 5 episodes, and I'm like,
oh man,
I know what I'm doing when I get on the plane.
Yeah, it's a really good show. Really good. John Singleton, comes from his brain, so it's awesome.
Oh yeah. So like that's what I'm now binge watching. It's like between Batman and this. I'm probably gonna finish season 2 by the time I even come back to New York because I'm gonna be in Seattle for a quick weekend. By the way, Jamco Comedy Series at the Rent 7 Theater. We have Tony Daniel. We have, actually, speaking of the Black Comedy Festival, we have Hijinks, Tyrone Collins, who will be opening for Tony Daniel. Very funny. And we have a strong supporting cast, including myself, that's going to be on there. Hosted by Marianne.
Hey.
So, be at that show on Saturday. This Saturday, actually. And speaking of that, don't forget June 11th over at the give me 1 second. I had this. Oh yeah.
Well, this episode's going up tomorrow, so the comedy show will be tomorrow as of this recording is posting.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, Jamal Prophet P.
Yeah.
Jamal Coleman. Again, he's gonna be in Bend, Oregon, Saturday, June 11th at 8 p.m. comedy. Give me one. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so good at this. It's comedy at Craft Kitchen and Brewery. So be there. Tickets are available.
Yeah.
So check out this guy. Guy's fucking hilarious.
I'm pretty funny.
Like not for nothing. His career is probably gonna take off tomorrow because he was on this podcast. So get in on the ground floor now.
Yeah.
While you can, because he's a very funny cat, and he gets the Jamco comedy approval, even though he had to book him on a show. He will one day be gracing the stage of a Jamco comedy show. But yeah, please check out Jamal Coleman. And if you're a person in the Pacific Northwest, whether it's Oregon or Washington, or even Montana, I mean, and that's a stretch right there.
Montana's not part of the Northwest.
It's not part of the Pacific
It's
Northwest.
Idaho, Washington, and Oregon.
So you guys just say fuck Montana.
Yeah, they're not part of the Pacific Northwest.
Fuck Montana.
I stand corrected. The Texas of the North or Montana
Yeah.
is not part of the Pacific Northwest. And if you are from Montana and you don't like what we just said, hey, send us a letter. So Jamal Coleman, definitely check him out.
Send your anthrax to Jamal Harrington.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hey,
Get the right Jamal.
Yeah, my name is Jamal Coleman. My address is 123 Main Street, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
That concludes our show.
Yeah.
And thanks to our special guest Jamal Coleman.
Woo woo.
And shout out to I'm gonna make one more correction note on our last episode, and I can't believe I'm doing this now. Last episode, we were talking about hockey, and I made a faux pas about the Carolina Hurricanes never winning a Stanley Cup. It was brought to my attention from my boss, who's a very avid hockey enthusiast, who pointed out to me that actually the Carolina Hurricanes did win a Stanley Cup in 2005, and I remember that, and I totally forgot that, and I misspoke. So I was wrong, and I'm also manning up and taking ownership to it, because that's what we do here. Okay, as Marianne usually would say, make good choices. And as we say here at this wonderful podcast of ours, it is not about you.
Get discounts some caskets.
It is noon 12 over here, so I got to do some packing and all that good stuff. But Jamal,
Yes.
it's a pleasure, bro.
Always.
And I'll try to get you on a Jamco show as soon where it's profitable for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want you to come down and do a guest spot and be like, peace out, buddy. We'll get you. Let me ask you this. How much time do you have?
I'm talking to you like me.
It's a stupid. Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
My longest set to date is 2.5 hours.
Okay, so you definitely got the time. So, okay. Well, when I'm booked out well until October.
Yeah.
But I'll keep you in mind. I'll try to keep you in mind soon.
Yeah, no worries. I'm here.
All right, man.
I'll book you too. I'm just starting to book a room at the Khalifa Social Club. It's a weed lounge where you can smoke and tell jokes.
Two of my favorite things right there.
So yeah, I also booked through October. So, but I will have you.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Bye. It's a pleasure, Todd.
See you this weekend, dude. Thanks for coming on, Jamal.
Bye, guys. Hey, I just did a podcast. Thanks for checking it out.